Welcome back to the Nerdrotic channel. My name is Gary Buechler. I am live in smoky San Francisco, California, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com. And welcome to the Nerdrotic Nooner, the Hump Day edition. Hump Day. I hope everybody is doing well. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Greetings, world. God, YouTube is cool. This is cool. I don't know if enough YouTubers say this. This is effing cool. I love doing this. Excuse me. And first of all, I have a very full cup of Pete's coffee. I haven't really sipped any yet, so I'll be sipping throughout the broadcast. And hi, everybody. We're still sad about Stan Lee. So we were live when the Stan Lee death announcement came. You guys in the chat were kind enough to kind of shout it out when it happened. Of course, I had to verify. I was completely flustered when it happened. That was a very visceral reaction. I felt like I got punched in the gut. I don't usually feel that way about celebrities. I mean, these are people I don't know. I'm sorry they're gone. I'd say the last one I felt that way was David Bowie. When David Bowie died, it just like the world feels like it's not as good of a place with David Bowie missing. And now we lost basically our Shakespeare with Stan Lee. Somebody who's never going to be forgotten. Excelsior, R.I.P. Stan. Some foul people decided to use that opportunity to bring attention to themselves and their beliefs based on rumors, innuendo, and accusations against the poor man after he passed with nobody to defend him. I'm glad some of my friends and many people on Twitter, and this is why I don't spend a lot of time on Twitter, folks. I mean, that's exactly it. And for the people who are criticizing Stan, if you ever wonder why you get called names like NPC and SJW, that's why. That's why. It's not anything else. That is why. And especially if you're in the comics industry and you're doing that, despicable, absolutely despicable. Show a little class. If you feel that way, fine. That's great. Keep it to yourself for a little while. I know. Is that too hard? And then, So while a lot of people were mourning, a lot of people were sad. It was great to have people here being able to share their feelings. And I do apologize. My phone might go off during the break. I have a kid in school, so I can't turn it off. So, it was cool. It was cool. YouTube gets a lot of crap, but what we did here last Monday, we had people just being able to talk about their feelings, talk about, when they have either they were at work or they were by themselves, or they're not with anybody who knew who Stan Lee was. It gave us a place to kind of mourn him immediately and just talk about it. And it was all love. I didn't see anything negative in the chat, and that was amazing. And we had this amazing amount of people watching. I couldn't believe it. And it's great for the channel and everything, but the two big booms we've gotten were over very unfortunate things, which I would much rather get tons of subs recapping the first episode of Counterpart, because that's mainly what we do here. But we do have a lot of new people, and we have welcome. So allow me, people in the chat, to reset a little bit, why we're here, what we do here, just in case, because we don't always mourn celebrities. That's not, we do it when it happens. And, Stan is somebody I've met several times and, did some business with. I've talked to some of those handlers people talk about. Some were nice, some were not. But Stan was always a gentleman. Stan was nice to my kids. Another story I didn't share is when we stayed on the same floors as he was in a hotel right next to Comic-Con. And my wife and I took an elevator ride with Stan Lee and had a little chit chat with him. I had blue hair. Yes, I had blue hair. It was for con. Okay. And he was super cool. Cool to my oldest son. Was speechless at the time. He was a little kid at the time. That was about 10 years ago. And yeah, lots of fond memories of Stan. And I can tell you right now, I know a lot of people who know him. I haven't heard any of the stuff he's been accused of ever in all my years in the comic industry. I was a retailer for 10 years. I've been a fan all my life. I've been a publisher for a little while prior to being a shop owner. So I've been to many cons as an artist, as a writer, as a retailer. Had a lot of interaction with people. There was a lot of people who were resentful towards Stan for taking too much credit, and we'll give it that. But other than that, as far as being a jerk, or I've never ever heard that. Never heard anything. So that's all, that stuff's recent. And listen, you live a life for 95 years. I'd ask anybody to live that long and not make some mistakes. So let's not judge people too harshly. I know that's not what we do here on YouTube, but that's not something I'm ever going to do towards Stan. Stan is as close as an entertainment god as there will ever be. And I miss Stan. I miss him. Yeah, respect. Nothing but respect for Stan Lee. The debates about him taking too much credit, we've had those will be there around, but for us here, it is not the time, and not going to talk about it. So love you, man. And I just hope I hope there's an afterlife. I really do. And I hope he's with Joan right now and they're just chilling, So to reset the channel real quick, thanks, Kato. To reset the channel, we do live recaps of television. That's kind of our bread and butter here. We also do 3 live streams a week. We do the Nerdrotic Nooner, which is Monday and Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, and then we do Friday Night Tights with Susan Layton from 1428elm.com. She's the editor there. And my friend Dennis Bethalkas, who I've known for years and years and who's worked with me at the comic store, who's owned a comic store himself. So that's what we do here. But it's mainly live television reviews 15 minutes after it airs. We are generally pretty picky. We have been accused, and we've been kind of digging at a couple of TV shows lately because they're not good, but we mostly cover good television here. But not all. Sometimes we pick on some shows, especially when it's something like Star Trek and Doctor Who of late, which we'll get to. But as far as I was a little disappointed in some of my fellow comic retailers here. And maybe, listen, it was a holiday, so I won't be too hard on them. But if I was still owning a comic shop on Monday, I would have gotten on the top of it. For one, I would have a YouTube platform and a channel. I don't know why every comic store doesn't have a YouTube channel. I don't understand that. I'd be on the top of every mountain. I'd be on my Facebook group. I'd be on Twitter going like, get your butts down here. Let's talk about Stan. Let's have a wake. Let's have a, something. And nobody did that. I was a little bummed. I was looking around for it. I wanted to go to a comic store. So I ended up going to my old shop with Logan and Mrs. Nerdrotic, and because my son was bummed. My son was like genuinely bummed. And as I've said before, my son, he's on the spectrum, as they say, and emotion is something he doesn't do that often. I mean, he's got them, of course, but it's just different with him. And he had a lot of emotion. So I mean, that was good to see. And we had the death talk, because he never had like a grandma die. He was too young when his grandma died, and he's never like really experienced death. So we had that talk with my son, which is not easy. It's not fun at all. But he's good now. He's a good lad. My son's name is Logan. He's an awesome kid. He's named after Wolverine, and his middle name is Tiberius. That's after Captain Kirk. I never got to name the cat, the dog, the bird, the fish, anything ever before. So I'm like, I am naming this kid, and I didn't get to name the older kid. So yeah, man, it was a bummer. And I'm still bummed about it. And then, I dipped in on Twitter and saw that negative stuff and got even more bummed and mad. And I just said, it's an easy choice not to be mad. I'll just stay the hell off Twitter. And it was that easy. Let them talk, and if nobody reacts to it then they're just talking to themselves. And I know we want to defend Stan and stuff, but maybe if we just ignore people, that generally just ghost them, it tends to work. It tends to work. Just tune them out. Those of you who are husbands out there, you know how to tune things out, don't you? Come on, it's a skill. It's a skill we learn. Good morning, CD Horde, Mike Cedar, Aki Ross, Brent Newman, Mary Ashmead, Eder Wrench, Sebastian Simonson, Six Scale Combat, Dalton Mortimer, Lee Kirby, and Ditko will be reconvening the bullpen in the afterlife. Yeah, that's an awesome sentiment, Dalton. I love that. I want that, maybe I'll get my buddy Derek to commission that drawing. That would be, somebody draw that. That would be awesome. I want to see that. What's up, Dalton? How you doing? Brent Newman, Halam899 is watching for the first time. Morks is here. The Purple Fist of Fury. What's the color of the other fist? Assuming you have one. Maybe it's just one. Killmonger the Rebel 313. Hey, how's it going? Let's go up here and say Kato Roan is here with his wrench. MP. Just want to greet everybody here. I saw sculpted leather art by Viking Bitch, our friend. There will be some minor spoilers. Did I say spoiler-free review for Grindelwald? It might have a couple. I don't know, but that's later. She gave me a spoiler paddle, so I might show that later. Mike, we've already said hi to Mike Cedar, but we can say hi again. Travis, hello, Travis. And that's as far as we go. And Tommy Holly, hello. How's it going? So today there's a lot of stuff to talk about. Of course, you can keep talking about Stan. If you guys want to keep talking about Stan, I am cool with that. But it was a weird shift on Monday's Nooner because I was pretty much ripping into Doctor Who, and then I had to go, and kind of turn around. What's up, Chris Perja? How's it going? So I ain't done with that. I need to finish my thoughts on that. Of course, we can also bring up The Expanse being robbed in the People's Choice Awards and losing to Wynonna Earp, and I think it's a big conspiracy. Because I was comparing Wynonna Earp's ratings to Dark Matter on our Patreon Nooner, and Dark Matter had better ratings than Wynonna Earp, and it's gone, and Wynonna Earp is here. That does not make sense. Jack Yost says enough Stan Lee plot, and yeah, that's why it's been all Stan Lee for 2 days, and that's awesome. And people can still get their feelings up, but we are going to talk about other things today. Definitely. So like I said, The Expanse, I saw The Crimes of Grindelwald last night, and yes. Okay. So I'm a Harry Potter fan. Why I'm a Harry Potter fan is because of the audiobooks. And I used to work in LA down at Technicolor, and I would live 4 days in LA and then 3 days in San Francisco, and I would drive back and forth. So I listened to a lot of audiobooks, and I became a Harry Potter fan through that. Okay. They were good audiobooks. Then I read the books and read them with my kids and saw the movie with my kids. So it was kind of a kid connecting thing too. Plus Mrs. Nerdrotic likes it quite a bit too. So we had our family movie night last night, and oh boy. And that one's written by J.K. Rowling too. So how much, Aki, is the question. It's not a matter of if it sucked, it's how much it sucked. It's I didn't hate the first one. I thought it was okay. I thought they would build on it and it would be fun, and Dumbledore coming back and everything, but we'll get to that. So Armie Hammer, though, I'm going to go on this real quick. So Armie Hammer and Jeffrey Dean Morgan, now, like, I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan, but like he just went on my list of freaking cool people. So the last thing on Stan Lee was Armie Hammer, and this is personal here because I posted a picture of myself with Stan Lee, and yes, it was to bring attention to my Twitter and to myself so I could mourn him and say I miss him. Yes, the reason we post things on Twitter is to bring attention to ourselves. This is not a bad thing as long as it's just a normal tweet, right? So Armie Hammer twoted. There you go. You can have that one. So touched by all the celebrities posting pictures of themselves with Stan Lee. No better way, and I don't count myself as a celebrity. I'm a bloke. No better way to commemorate an absolute legend than putting up a picture of yourself. And now, this is an actor saying this, so that's just rich, Armie. And speaking of rich, Armie Hammer is, of course, a part of the Hammer family, which was an oil tycoon. He comes from like insanely like stratosphere, Illuminati rich people. Yeah, that's the family he comes from. Jeffrey Dean Morgan strikes back. Love this guy. Looks like you found a way to use others' ways of mourning and their memories to draw some attention to yourself. You sound like a real asshat. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, I salute you, my friend. You have the nerdrotic seal of approval. Yes, Armie Hammer. And this is a guy I liked. I actually was a proponent of him playing maybe a couple superheroes. And yeah, that's fine. He'd come out and say he's sorry. It's okay. But come on, dude. And actors calling out people for bringing attention to themselves is just don't do it. It's a bad look. It's a bad look. Okay. Why do you become an actor? The ones there's theater, there's people who really love the art. Yes, there's people who just truly love the art of it, but also, actors like attention. Okay. They do. That's why they're actors. And that's not a judgment. That's just a fact. Let's get the 100 likes. That'd be nice. That'd be cool. If you like the video, like it, that's cool. Thanks for the halam for the sentiment. I appreciate that. Jim J, what's up? How's it going? Dion Markgraf, how you doing? Howdy from 33,600 feet in the sky, flying to San Diego in the virtual skies. Hour and a half to go. Where are you flying from? Yeah, when we fly to San Francisco to San Diego, it's short. Well, hello in the plane. Greetings in the sky. How's it going? Keep an eye out for UFOs. Keep your phone on. You never know what you're going to see. We're going to talk some Wednesday woo-woo a little bit later. And there was a major sighting, multiple witnesses, multiple pilots in Ireland. And it was fascinating, Jim. It was fascinating. MC Hammer for life. Yes, MC Hammer. I have met MC Hammer. Cool fucking dude. What did I miss about Star Trek Canon Fixed? Nothing, Eric, because we haven't talked about it yet. If I did miss it, I'm getting ready for work really fast. The headline is that the Star Trek short trek from last week fixed the canon. It's a theory out there that I think is right, that I think is dead on. And I usually don't say that about these entertainment websites, but I think it's dead on. It's not good, but it's dead on. Gary, have you heard the rumor around the world Harry Potter game? There's a Harry Potter game in the works, says Sebastian Simonson. I have. And I worry. Here's what I'm worried about, Sebastian. So I don't follow J.K. Rowling on Twitter. I don't follow I read the what was the play? I forgot the name of the play. I read the book. It wasn't that great. But I've kind of like stopped paying attention. Once the last movie came out, I was kind of out on Harry Potter. So all the canon is like right now, it's just fresh in my head and everything's fine. But I hear that J.K. Rowling has been coming out and like changing canon on Twitter. Where's that encyclopedia she said she was going to write, by the way? I was looking forward to that, but I don't know, kind of like her Silmarillion or whatever the hell you say it. And she keeps messing with her own canon, and oh god, are Harry Potter fans going to be mad after they watch this movie? Woo! You gonna be mad. You're gonna be mad. I ain't gonna say what it is, but what the closest hint I will say is it's the Star Trek Discovery, possibly, of Harry Potter. Maybe. Not in the Michael Burnham sense, more in the story. Maybe the movies sit in a separate canon. They pulled the biggest soap opera move of all time, which is, hey, I'm a comic book fan. They do that stuff all the time, and I kind of dig it. But, wow, yeah, they. All right, so quick. If I hit a spoiler, okay. So I'm going to put the spoiler paddle up, but yikes! What the hell was that? Every time you move something in here, like 5 action figures fall. Right. So I'm going to put it up just in case I accidentally do something, but my intention is not to spoil anything from the movie. I'm going to just tell you what I thought about it in very general terms. And I tell you that they changed something. But you got to wait and see. You might not notice it. You might. Okay. So the Crimes of Grindelwald. The Crimes of Grindelwald. It was directed by David Yates. David Yates has directed pretty much the last few movies. He came in at Order of the Phoenix. I thought he did an okay job there. I think they really like this guy. I've always had problems with his pacing. The 6th movie was really slow. Was really, really slow. Deathly Hollows, the first, I liked them. I like all the movies. I do. I like them enough. But the pacing on the David Yates directed ones is a little off. You can really tell when they've cut out scenes. And actually, when you see his extended versions, they're a little better. It's almost like he makes his movies not to be edited. And the editing on this one, I was going to make like a really crass joke, but I remembered it's 2018 and nobody really, America has lost its sense of humor. So I won't. So I'll just say that the film was edited by Mr. Magoo, ACE. And I have never seen a movie so much where I was with a group of friends and we turned around to each other and we go, how did they get there? Now, yes, I know you can apparate and disapparate and all that stuff and in Harry Potter, but you need to show it. They will be talking in a room and then they'll hear a sound outside and all of a sudden the next cut is they're out on a street and you're like, how did they get there? Because to disapparate, you have to grab onto somebody, or if you're going to use the port key, you got to touch the port key. They don't show any of that. It's just one scene, people are in a room going, hey, I heard a sound outside. And then the next scene, they're on the streets of Paris fighting something that they heard the sound of. And I'm like, how'd they get there? And if it happens once, whatever. This happens multiple times in the film. People show up, like, you're like, wait a minute, that guy was with them? How did that guy get with them? Because like for the last 5 minutes in the scene, he wasn't there, and it's like, it happened a lot, like 5 or 6 times. If you guys go and see it, it feels like this was like probably a 3-hour movie that got cut down to 2 hours, 15 minutes. Thankfully, when our screening last night, they didn't show any previews, which I was like, can we do this more? Honestly, I'm kind of done with trailers before movies. That used to be my favorite part, but now it's bad. So Jude Law does as a good job as Dumbledore. Johnny Depp does a pretty good mustache twirling villain as Grindelwald, but the story is just it's been said before by other YouTubers. It's a story made for people who are looking at their phones and texting each other and want to look up once in a while and just be entertained between texts. That's kind of what this was. There was no cohesive story. It was really confusing. There's a prophecy in it, right? There's a prophecy. I won't tell you what the prophecy is. They don't tell you out loud what the prophecy is at any point until the end. Now I understand they're like, hey, they were trying to make the prophecy a mystery. No, when the prophecy itself is a mystery, you want to tell us the prophecy so we know what the mystery is. That we don't want a mystery wrapped in an enigma, which is another mystery, because at the end we just look at each other going, I don't know what just happened. I really don't know what just happened. I honestly, I saw this movie. I want my money back. I want my time back. It was, I trying to think. I got to sleep on it another day, but it might be the worst edited blockbuster I've ever seen. I'm an editor. Okay, I used to get paid. I can say that because I used to get paid for it. So yeah, everybody relax. I'm here fashionably late, says Steele Johnson. Thank you for the $2 super chat. It is appreciated, Steele Johnson. Welcome. I am currently doing a spoiler-free. It's hard for me to do spoiler-free reviews, by the way. I'm a little bit of a blabber. Okay, so characters that were good. Lenny Kravitz's daughter was okay. The one good thing I will say, J.K. Rowling wrote the script. The women were written well in their scenes. Okay, the overall story was bad, but we got this is J.K. Rowling showed some people out there how to write complex women. Okay, that was good. That was actually good. They weren't all like flawless and actually quite to the contrary. Newt Scamander, the guy who plays Newt Scamander, I forgot his name. It mumbles throughout the whole damn movie again. That was my biggest complaint from the first Fantastic Beasts. It's my complaint about the second. Plus, can we just talk about the title? Okay, so there's 3 titles to this film. It is The Wizarding World, which is the shared universe that they're doing. Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald. That is just too many titles. Too many titles. Just call it The Crimes of Grindelwald. Now, there was a lot of we know Dumbledore's in it. We know Grindelwald's in it, and we know there's been it's been alluded to about a relationship, and that was they said initially they weren't going to put that in. I will say that's not the case. They do indeed put that in. It looks like they used the younger actors who played them in the Deathly Hallows for a scene, which I thought was good for continuity. There is a character in here that shows up that doesn't make any sense. You guys will know if you've read the book. There's a character that shows up that should not be there. So I think and now you guys will know better than me. I like him. Is Eddie? Is that his name? I mean, he was perfectly charming and everything and good. They just wasted a lot of time with the whole creature exposition again. I mean, it wasn't as bad as the first movie, and the creatures look cool. They did. That was probably one of the better moments, but just the story was so choppy and there was so much going on. And this is a world I'm interested in. I like, but I mean, like again. Why don't we just go forward? Why can't we? Why with the prequels? Prequels are inherently tragedies, and we know the end. We can go forward. It's a big wizarding world. If you want to do something in America, do something in America. That's got nothing to do with Harry. You can mention him. It's a big world. Make something new. I don't understand why they don't do that. I'm really glad they haven't done the Marauders. I hope they leave that alone. In my head, that is a brilliant story. I love that story, and I don't want to see them make it up. Yeah, what's up, Feisty? How's it going? We're doing spoiler free right now, Feisty. So I would say definite thumbs down, and we will be doing a further spoiler review later in the week. What's up, kids in America? How's it going? Writer's Room came up with 5 titles and they couldn't throw them all out. That's true. So it's time to get to the chat after that. So again, if you're new, what I do is I throw out a topic, get to the chat, throw out another topic, get to the chat. Jude Law did a good job. He did a good job. But I can't. There's a lot I can't say because, for one, I have no idea what happened. There was a prophecy. We heard it once at the end. Not sure really what it was. There was a lot of just ridiculous circumstances and amazing coincidences that happened. They mixed in so much stuff, and I'm not a fan of Ezra Miller. I'm just not a fan of Ezra Miller ever. He's okay in this, worst Flash ever, but so there was a bright flash of light and Mikey Spock vanished into thin air, says Eric Hawk. That might be it. We'll get to that. Harry Potter becoming the new STD. It is. Did Grindelwald subvert my expectations? It did. But if subverting my expectation is let's bring in this thing from left field that you didn't need to do and you really shouldn't have done. And it was, I mean, this actually falls into the laws of canon though, because it was the creator who did this. So it's canon in the movies. I don't know if there's, I would think that they're separate, that the movies are separate than the books. So movie canon is obviously going to be different than the books. Uh, who had a sex change? No, I can't spoil it. I cannot spoil it. Bring back Harry Potter. Yes, bring back Harry. The story ended good. I mean, it ended okay. It did. I like the books. I do. That Harry Potter game is a go. They have an RPG and a tabletop miniatures game. That's cool. There's an Expanse game coming out. I can't wait. So I'm actually going to play that. And I'm not a big gamer of any kind. Uh, just no tardigrades, please. Right. Don't want to snob, but I like the books and not the movies. Don't want to sound. Yeah, you don't sound like a snob. That's perfectly okay. I would say the vast majority of Harry Potter fans like the books over the movies because the movies, made a lot of mistakes. They made a lot of mistakes going in, like not enough house elves, really gutting. The Prisoner of Azkaban, which I is still the best movie, but it should. I mean, you want to talk about a movie that should have been two parts. Hello, Alan Sparks. How's it going? How's it going? Uh, Most adults have an apparition license. Yes, Nathan Norman. They do, but there's a couple characters who can't apparate that just showed up someplace. There's some muggles, we'll just say, or no mages, as they say in America. I thoroughly like muggles better. I need to watch this just to see the inconsistencies for myself, says Liam Hodges. Yeah, I mean, just don't spend what I spent. I spent a ton of money going to that, getting my the Barca Lounger seats and the assigned seats, which here in America, we have a big problem with that. Every time I go to the theater, I got to get somebody out of my seats. And I hate, it's like, dude, alphabet. It's an alphabet. C6. It's not hard. Um, Bwahaha, that is the theory now. Yes, iPad scripts, says scale combat. I like that. iPad scripts. Usually, a specialized person is responsible to track continuity when filming. This looks like the failure during cutting and then the director not noticing, says Andre Merrick. Yeah, absolutely, Andre. And hello, Andre. And Andre is a new patron. Welcome, Andre. We welcome you. Thank you so much. And that is very well stated. It is up to continuity. What I think, the way I bring it down on the editor, listen, the editors are told what to do. They're told what unless you're Michael Kahn, you're not allowed to just edit stuff without a director looking over your shoulder. So yes, the responsibility lies on the director ultimately and the studio, because I think I'll defend David Yates a little bit on this one. I think the runtime was too long. They had to get it under a runtime and they had to do it quick because they do this ridiculous. They didn't used to do this. They didn't used to like announce release dates years in advance to allow filmmakers to, give them a little leeway. Now, there's another side of the coin, which is like some filmmakers will take years, and like a Terry Gilliam and stuff. So you got to rein that in a little bit. But Akiro says I saved you 10 euros. There you go. And a couple hours. But you're right, Andre. You are correct in that statement. Is it an M. Night Shyamalan inspired film? Kinda. I'll say like kinda, you know. The only hint I'll give is a dun 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 dun. Just when you hear that music, something like that. I'm gonna sip some coffee here and then read some more chat. You know when in a soap opera, when somebody goes like, you know, I'm having I am no longer Gary. I would like to identify as Mary, and then the camera zooms in, and then everybody reacts for like 5 minutes, and they go, you know, something like that. But that's not what happened in the movie. I had to do something very different from happen, so I don't spoil it. We joked around at the end though, like the group of us walked out and we saw these Harry Potter fans like posing in front of the big stand up, right? They're all taking a picture, and my friend Tim looks around and goes, "They're so happy right now. Man, they're gonna be pissed in a couple hours." I know. And well, I know you want to just tell them the end, uh, and just scream it, just like at the end of Empire Strikes Back. That'd be funny. How bad does it kill canon? Bad. It bad. He's looking at him in the mirror. You saw that they showed that scene. I mean, they showed so much of the movie in the trailer. Yeah. Comrade Bernfred Putin's Axwilder. If you want to torture yourself, go watch the original She-Ra pilots and then the reboot. You might even get sick from watching. It's that bad. Oh my God, it's so bad in all respects. I watched. I can't say I watched She-Ra when I was a kid. That was not something I was into. But I think I watched some He-Man. I was kind of old. I'm old. So, I would like He-Man was like the generation behind me, comrade. But I have been keeping track. I watched a little bit of She-Ra, and it really is just not for me. It's and it's supposed to be for kids though. I don't know what kids are going to be into that. I think it's made for like 20 somethings maybe. I don't know. It's a twist. Yes. Make sure when I identify as Mary, be sure I'm wielding a big wrench. That's right. All hail Mary, Ashmead and her wrench. Howdy from the Anti-Trekkers group, says Alan Hendigs. Am I saying that right? Hendgigs? How do you say your last name, Alan? I'm sorry. I have a hard last name too. But welcome. Yeah, apologies to the anti-trekker, but I've been scheduling these for almost 8 or 9 months, so I can't really change it. And I know he changed his schedule. I love the anti-trekker though. I don't mean to step on his toes or anything, but I these things happen when we live stream. These things happen. But definitely go check him out. He's awesome. He's funny too. I was watching a bit of it this morning at the gym. Space Hunter and the Adventures in the Forbidden Zone, KSS. I love that movie. Just came out of nowhere, and in an hour and 30 minutes, I knew everything I needed to know, and I cared. Today, 2.5 hours, and I'm lost. Space Hunter and the Adventures in the Forbidden Zone with Molly Ringwald and Peter Straub. It was a 3D movie, and like the bad 80s 3D. Freaking loved it. I mean, it's terrible, but I loved it. Oh, the anti-trekker arrives. What's up, man? You do not step on my toes. Your channel is awesome, and so is yours. Subscribe to the anti-trekker. He knows way more about Star Trek than I do, and most people. So, hats off to you, bud. Sorry you had a bad day on your errands. Yeah, I feel you on that one. When you've gotten away from a store and you have to go back for something here in San Francisco, that's 2 hours. And the store is 2 miles away. It's 2 hours of your day gone if you're like, oh, I forgot the milk. Motherfucker. And then you got to go back and it's 2 freaking hours. It doesn't matter if you take the bus. I actually, maybe if I walked, it'd be faster. Maybe I should just walk. But then you'll probably get hit by a bus here. The murder rate kind of fluctuates between Caltrain and our buses. Halam's trying to get us to 100 likes. That's awesome. And again, hail to the outer to the anti-trekker. I was about to say the outer trekker. What the fuck? And Hail Mary. Nathan Norman. She-Ra betrayed the canon of He-Man as he was the one who brought the sword of honor to Etheria. But now it's just Etheria. Grayskull is on another planet. How did it get there? Oh boy. So they made it about She-Ra first. Is He-Man even going to be in it? Well, I'm sure that's going to sell lots of toys because it was a toy line, right? I remember the toy line. Yeah, definitely hail the anti-trekker. So how did the last short trek, Comrade Bernfred Putin's Axviewer asks, how did the last short trek fix canon? I don't get it. I watched Egotastic Fun Times remake of that, and it didn't give me a clue about what could have happened. All right, so let me find that article. When you hear this, by the way, don't be too disappointed because it's fixing canon in the really just, I'm going to bring out an eraser. But this shows how much they're going to fix canon. Okay. And I really think there's something to this. So we know if you saw my review or Anti-Trekker's review of Calypso, the Star Trek, the Discovery is 1,000 years in the future, although they don't really say that. It's been waiting somewhere for 1,000 years. We're assuming it's the future. And a soldier from another planet gets sucked in on the tractor beam, and there's a super intelligent AI that just became sentient, and because it was sitting by itself for 1,000 years, it became like a god, and it was able to get him off the ship and get him a new clothes by how I don't know. Instead of the soldier worrying about his fellow soldiers or his son or his wife on the other planet, which he worries about a tiny bit, he just kind of screws around on the spaceship, eats the food, the synthesized food, which I don't know how that happened, and danced with the AI on the hologram that's not supposed to be there. So, but after 1,000 years, if a computer is going to get super intelligent, why not hologram? Why couldn't have just beamed it to its planet? Because it's super powerful now. And I'm trying to stretch as long. Here we go. There's a bunch of new Star Trek news now. All right. So this is according to Cinema Blend. Star Trek Discovery has ruffled feathers with its aesthetic and plot lines with assumed continuity. Here, I'll share this with you guys. With assumed continuity. This is really dumb, by the way. I just want to warn you. It's dumb, but it kind of goes with the show. Star Trek Discovery has ruffled some feathers with its aesthetic and plot lines with assumed continuity errors, causing assumed conflict with a lot of existing Trek series and take place after the Star Trek shorts. Episode Calypso appears to have addressed one of those issues, and it possibly clarified that the USS Discovery's place in the franchise canon. Specifically, we might know why the Discovery's advanced tech was never implemented or on Starfleet ships, or why Season 1's main crew isn't around later. According to the Far-Flung Short Treks episode, something will likely happen to the Star Trek Discovery that results that the crew's disappearance, along with the ship itself, apparently getting stuck in a holding pattern for 1,000 years until Aldous Hodge's character, Kraft, wakes up inside it, with the ship having its specific position for that long. It seems that Discovery and its experimental technology were lost in space. They may explain why advancements such as the Spore Drive didn't find their way into other vessels in the franchise, because nobody kept any backups about it or any plans or anything. They just put everything on the ship. You know, honestly, I can believe that from a super secret organization that passes out fucking badges. I could see that hey, we don't need backups. It's a super secret organization. We're going to keep them all on a ship. It'll be fine. Calypso was set 1,000 years after the events of Star Trek Discovery. We've already said that. You're trying to word salad this article to get it longer. And followed the unfamiliar craft as escape pod and rescued by the Discovery. Craft learns the ship is completely unmanned. Well, your jokes, you can insert your jokes right there. But but that he's not exactly alone. The Discovery's artificial intelligence has evolved into a sentient program that named itself Zora. Zora explained she'd been holding the Discovery position for the past millennia under the instruction of the long missing captain, whoever that captain is. So the good news for Star Trek fans is where's that? I'm sorry. So the good news for Star Trek fans is that we, at least for now, have an explanation for why the Discovery's developing tech and its crew aren't directly referenced in future shows. The bad news is it sounds as though something crazy is going to happen to Michael Burnham. Oh, that's the good news you were talking about. Tilly and the rest of the crew, and the results, their fates being unknown, and that distant future. What happened to the crew, and why did they completely abandon everything like that? Okay, so I'm not gonna go past. We're not completely sure yet because we're not. So what they're saying is that explains everything. The ship's gonna eventually just disappear, and the crew's gonna disappear, and that's why Starfleet's not going to use the Spore drive and the Mushroom network because there's no backups anywhere. And honestly, I would believe the writers would do this. I would 100% believe the writers, the Canon Camp writers of this show would do that immediately. They would go, yep, we just zapped it in the future and everybody forgot anything because they didn't leave any backups. They are probably going to end up doing something like that. We got news that there's going to be a Section 31 spinoff. Possibly there's talks, and I did a video on it. Talks are meaningless right now. I think that was more of a, well, I could go into that some other time, but I think talks are just talks. I'm not too sure we're going to see that. As far as this show's going to go, I even said it in my recap. I think this is probably going to explain what happens to the actual ship. Like it's going to blink somewhere, in the future or something. We've already had time travel. Okay. It came back 9 months later after the Klingon War. They need to explain that. What Anti-Trekker and many have pointed out is, they've already changed stuff so much. Pretty much the Klingons could whoop the Federation's ass whenever they want. And they just decided not to because Michael Burnham had a fake detonator at the end and she convinced 9 Klingons. And there was 9. Yeah. So how do you fix the canon? They're basically just going to get an eraser out. They're not going to fix the canon. They've been telling us for this last year with their great marketing campaign of "Don't worry," which I'm always like inspired by a television show that tells me not to worry. Yeah. So Star Trek Discovery, don't worry. Oh my god. Yeah, that's fixing canon, all right, folks. So that's how much thought they're gonna put into it. So I mean, if anybody's out there holding out hope, like they're gonna like, they are just geniuses. They're gonna wrap this all up in a nice little bow and it's gonna make sense. And we're gonna go, we're sorry, Star Trek Discovery. We were so hard on you. Everything looks great. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. No. Yeah, it's simply and that's here's the thing with Star Trek Discovery, and I said this to my patrons, is like, I'll watch it for one more season, and if it gets picked up for a third season, like then at that point, if I really don't want this show to exist anymore and stuff, the best thing I could personally do is never talk about it again. Because even talking about it negatively and giving it shit, and believe me, a lot of this is just, it's not like I wake up in the morning going, I can't wait to hate on Star Trek Discovery. Woo-wee. No, I don't. I'll just stop caring at that point. I just really will. So we'll have our fun for season 2, see what happens. I highly doubt it's going to turn anything around. And I don't know how, just based on what I see out there, what the feedback is on this show, I don't see a ton of positive feedback. I look around. There are some people who do truly love the show, but it's not a lot. It's really not a lot. I would say it's easily more than half. People just don't like the show or don't care. I'll put don't care with the don't likes. Um, the dust was people. It that's funny, Ikiros. The dust was people. It probably was. It probably was. Oh man. Um, as far as like the short as a standalone, I don't know. I still didn't like it. I didn't like it. It was supposed to be like this love story, and I've seen love stories told in 5-minute things on YouTube that are better. Tim F is working and lurking. What is up? Revenge of the Tardigrades, indeed. Revenge of the Tardigrades, and shout out to Anas Abdeen, our friend Anas Abdeen, who is currently and bravely suing a giant corporation. Um, has not asked for a penny in crowdfunding or anything. Really wants to like uh, props to you, my friend. But if you ask for it, nobody's going to blame you. I mean, you're taking on CBS, and I'm sure people would be happy to help. But the fact that, excuse me, that he hasn't asked yet, you know, we'll see what happens. But good luck to you, whatever happens. Teeny BB says they're all dead. Yay! Oh, crash and burn, baby. Yeah, too bad Starfleet doesn't keep records. Exactly. Um, they ripped off so much else. Why wouldn't it be surprised that they ripped off B5 as well? Yeah. Discovery's computer becomes V'ger. I was waiting for that. Uh, duh, 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 Calypso, this is how the producers of STD treat the fans. The ship doesn't go out in a blaze of glory. It's left abandoned for 1,000 years, seemingly forgotten, with no one looking for it. Says Liam Hodges. Yes, maybe that's how I think. Oh, maybe that's how a lot of that's pretty deep. That's pretty deep. That I think that's how some Star Trek fans feel right now. I think they do. It'll get better. Believe us, says CD Horde. Exactly. Comrade, Brunfred, Putin's axe fielder. So Doctor Who is getting worse and worse. I blame the actress, not the writers. Uh, he winks. Yeah, the writers are really bad. Now, yeah, we'll get to that in a bit. We'll get to that in a bit. I just need to finish my thoughts for Monday. Most of my thoughts are there, but I have more data to back it up. So, in other words, rip off Stargate Universe season 2 ending. I don't know what it was. Kronos, Cryon, what was it? Oh, that's awesome, Kato. Thanks for putting up Anas's story in there in the chat. That is cool. You can go check that out. We love Anas Abdeen here. Her in space. Yeah, that's basically what it was. Oh, you know who else died? Who passed away? On the same. And I'm forgetting his name now. It sucks. But the guy who voiced Hal 9000, died the same day Stan Lee died. And I really suck for forgetting his name because I have a live stream brain fart going on. The last 50 or so years didn't happen, Gary, says CD Horde. I mean, really, did they? Do we know they happened? No. As far as Star Trek and Doctor Who, yes. Oh, Doctor Who's going to go in there and change that. That's coming. Wasn't V'ger and the stuff Spock saw supposed to be a potential Borg homeworld in canon or possible canon? Think Roddenberry mentioned it once, says Tenno Recluse. I heard fans talk about that. I don't know if that was ever that's something anti-trekker or there you go. I think that was David Rain, the voice of HAL 9000, and he died the day before. Thank you, anti-trekker. Yes. David Rain was the voice of HAL 9000. He died. He was 9. He was old too. He was 90. I love 2010: A Space Odyssey, or the sequel. I don't know if it was called Space Odyssey, but yeah, I liked it a lot. I thought it was cool. It's a dated movie, but I liked it. Roy fucking Scheider. BBC bot alert. Maybe the short was set for the spin-off show set in the future with the new Spore Drive. They'll call it Star Trek Retardigrade. Rich Silverwood wins. Oh, that was funny. You made me laugh. That was good. We lost Big Van Vader, Jim the Anvil. No, we lost Jim the Anvil Nardhart, Bruto San Martino, Steve Ditko, and Stanley all this year. Yes. Jim the Anvil. I'm forgetting how to say. I remember him though from the 80s wrestling and stuff that I used to watch. Well, STD certainly makes it look like those massive Borg capital ships are like V'ger. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think, Anti-Trekker? Was V'ger the precursor to the Borg? I have not, Bourbon Sherbert. I will be talking about Doctor Who shortly. I make more typos than Gary ever does. I'm the worst at typos. I'm always in a hurry. And I also use I refuse to get rid of my Final Cut Pro. And half the keys on this thing don't work now, but I love it. I don't know why. I've just done, it's beaten to hell, but I've done a lot of work, a lot of good, well, at least I think, good work on that thing. My Final Cut Pro keyboard, which is like so fucking outdated. It's like awesome 2010 technology. The V'ger Borg thing is interesting, but does not really work out. Yeah, that's what I always thought. I mean, it's fun to think about though. Hey, go work, Anti-Trekker. It was nice talking to you. Take care. In the Star Trek Legacy video game, V'ger designed the Borg as probes to assimilate information, races, and technology, then bring it back to V'ger. Every big company is rebooting and remaking all the stuff. That was Nathan Norman, by the way. And Lomax says, every big company is rebooting and remaking all the stuff, and now we fans are complaining and what more original and want more original stuff. Yes, we do. We do. Rebooting stuff is it's a cheap, it's a cop out. Once in a while, it's fine. It does work once in a while. Battlestar Galactica is a good, Cobra Kai, but that's rare. That's like 1 in 100. I wish CBS were rebooting or remaking Star Trek. At this point, I wish they would have just called Discovery a reboot, start a whole new universe, and the only reason they didn't do that, and I think they were just waffling on it, and the reason they didn't do it is they thought they would lose the built-in fan base, which was just erroneous. They would have gotten the built-in fan base would have showed up for this new Star Trek, and while there might have been initially the same anger, it would have died down. It's not ever going to die down while you're messing with canon. I sure hope Doctor Who gets a writer from Monty Python. At least it would be fun. Exactly, comrade. Bernfred Putin's Axfielder. I agree. But the problem is they have Mr. Chibnall. The latest Voltron is great, says Bourbon Sherbert. Yes, I have heard the same. Dennis is a fan. What's up, the DJ D show? How's it going? Yeah, with the Doctor Who ratings going down, we'll go to this real quick, and then we got other stuff to talk about too. I've got TV series finale. Because I'm going to swing this into the Expanse stuff when I'm done here. So since we're on TV series finale, we're gonna. This is what Susan directed me to this website. By the way, it's very legit when it comes to American ratings. Now we do our ratings differently in America. Now we do count DVR. I don't know why. Do people still use DVRs? And we wait 3 days. It's usually 3 days. I think the UK has like immediate ratings. They have immediate streaming ratings. We really need to adopt that, to be honest with you. But these are incredibly low. So as you can see, in the 18 to 49 demo, which is your key demographic, of course, they're the ones who buy everything. Oh, I'm in the last year of that demo. That sucks. So of course, the first episode did a 0.45. That's a million, almost 1.5 million viewers. That's pretty good for cable here in America. That's pretty damn good. I would add probably like another 500,000 of streaming and stuff to that, but not much. More people watch it in the UK and America, even though America has like a huge population. It's just it did catch on over here, but they blew it. They straight up blew it. They blew it before Jodie Whittaker came on. But like the Americans really like kind of like the action doctor. They do. I know that the Brits aren't really big on that, but the Americans do. So, and we are a revenue source here. That's why they have BBC America. But BBC America is not available everywhere. That's part of the problem. All right. So we started off October 7th with the 0.45. Then it held on pretty strong with the next episode of 0.42. And it dipped with the Rose episode to the 0.25. Went up a little bit. And I said this at the time. I said, it's just like the Last Jedi. The Last Jedi is going to make a lot of money. The Arachnids in the UK is going to get some viewers. It's going to get some viewers. It's what happens after that. You'll see the damage that has been done. People generally give a show 3 to 4 episodes before they dive in or dive out. They gave it 4 episodes, and the Arachnids in the UK had again, right after the Rosa episode, we have an American hotel owner who likes to shoot things. We had more sympathy for spiders than we had for people, and it was the most basic after school writing there was. And then the ratings, well, they're right back to the Capaldi level. So as I kind of thought would happen, and the 0.1 right there in America, it's, you know, they're holding well in the UK. I haven't seen from the last episode. The previous one, I think it was 6 million, which is plenty good to keep it going. It's going to definitely get picked up for multiple seasons. I think they're going to finish their 5-year plan. I haven't heard anything to contradict the fact that they are going to be taking a year off, another year off after this season. We'll see what happens after that. But this dip here in the US it's going to just go down. So that's right there. That's at Winona Earp levels. And it's not the rating themselves. It's the percentage of the drop. All right. Look at that compared to week 1. You've lost half your viewers. You've lost over half your viewers. Now, I'm sure I haven't checked on the UK ratings. I can check real quick. I'm sure they're like at 6 million or something like that. But the US ratings have always paralleled the UK ratings pretty well as far as percentages are concerned. So, and the show is written like crap. It's like here's me talking about the content. All right. No, I was not a fan of Jodie Whittaker. I was not a fan of the female doctor and slapping a label and making all these wholesale changes instead of maybe trying to integrate her into the Doctor Who universe with good writing and trying to win people over. No, you decided to take the hardest path, kind of like Star Trek Discovery. Lots of similarities. We continue with the F this side of our audience. The Ghostbusters marketing technique from 2000, because that worked out so well. We're doing it with everything else. Marvel Comics, Star Wars, Star Trek. We've said it over and over and over again. I mean, we're getting the data now. Now, I've said this previously. We've had the data for a long time. In Marvel Comics, we have the data. All these wholesale changes to your brand adversely affect your brand and your sales. Comic stores. We've lost 68 comic stores in the last 18 months. And I spoke to 3 owners yesterday, which I'm going to talk about later, who are about to close their doors. So we're about to lose 3 more here in California. And it's dire. And it's because of stuff like this. Now, I don't know how the BBC tends to make money, and it might just do fine over in the UK, but it's not something that's going to, for one, they moved it to Sunday, right? Isn't that your big day? That's our big day over there. Saturday's not really a day people watch TV over here in America. So, not that we watch TV that much anyway. Doctor Who UK ratings. Doctor Who UK ratings. For what was the name of the last episode again? Demons of Punjab. Oh, and then the subject matter they're taking on, like Rosa Parks and the partition of India and what? Why? I mean, like, oh boy, how did that happen? Here we go. Demons. Give me just a second. Oh, I gotta go to Doctor Who TV. Give me just a second. That was 6.5. Here we go. God dang it. And they also here we go. 8.5 million. Oh, they're just comparing them to all the other ones. Yeah. So it looks like it did around the same. I'm not finding it anywhere. That's weird. I don't have a ton of time to look. So you can look. I'm going to guess it's probably like 6 million, right? Am I right? Let's get back to the chat. Mary, if you could look up Doctor Who Demons of Punjab ratings, go to Doctor Who TV. They usually have the ratings up the last couple of days, but I don't want to flip around my windows too much. We're just going to assume they're better than they are in America, but America is a kind of a precursor of things to come, and it's not looking good. And what I have noticed on my recaps is people are starting to get like mad, and not at me. They're getting mad at the show. I also look at other reviewers, people who are very friendly to Jodie Whittaker, and they're turning on the show too. And their biggest beef is, where's the sci-fi? Like, where in the hell's the sci-fi? This is a sci-fi show. I thought they were going to at least make a mystery of like the TARDIS. The TARDIS hasn't even been in the show that much. Like, they've been inside it. It just feels like we've got more TARDIS in the past. So, and yes, the Doctor Who was made for an English audience, which I want it to. That should never change. Never, ever, ever change. Do not make it for us, please. Do not. I could have gone behind a complete. I could have gotten behind a complete reboot of Star Trek as long as they held the morals of the original. Exactly. The amount of hate you say you're getting for a piece about a reboot of something we like in 18 is like making me feel like I'm wearing my chainmail armor while tweeting. Yes, exactly. Can't wait for the Orville. This Trek news makes me depressed. Says Matt Guy. Yes, the Orville is it's like 5 weeks away. 5 weeks away till we get the Orville, and it's what do we get? We get 2 episodes within like 4 days, something like that. We get a Sunday and a Thursday premiere, which is weird, but I'll take it. Yes, we did, Jay Wiggs. We did a Man in the High Castle review. We did. Go check it out. I liked it. I liked it. It was there's a couple things I didn't like, but overall I liked it. It's a really well done show. Man in the High Castle is a reboot of World War II. It kind of is. Well, DreamWorks screwed up with the No Straight Sheeran. Now Voltron seems to like a lucky fluke. I think they just decided to use one where they felt like it was safe to do those kind of politics and stuff. That's I mean, trying to defend them. I don't really know. I don't really know. Watch Castlevania, folks. Castlevania is fucking awesome. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat from Nicholas Glenn. How does the Expanse get away with being good and not SJW? I hope the SJW stay away from that show. Well, because it writes to both sides. It's basically what a lot of us have been saying is we don't want one-sided writing. We just want multiple sides. We want writing with depth. We're just simple. Just give me depth. All right. Don't give me this like spoon-fed cookie cutter crap that we keep on getting. The Expanse shows all sides of an issue. And even within those sides, even one that is supposedly good, there's good people in service of bad people in service of good people. It's kind of, Game of Thrones used to do that really well too. That's how the Expanse has gotten away with it, by taking it on head on and showing both sides and being very intelligent and well written. And I mean, talent. You can't disregard talent. DS9 then now would be done by the same people doing STD and would be crap, sadly, says SMU Pony. Yes. Right now, the people who are in charge of Star Trek were in charge of the Dark Universe, which made the Mummy, have had involvement in the Transformers films, like not good franchises. And strangely enough, they haven't really gotten a lot of ex Star Trek people. Like Nicholas Meyer is in there, but he's directed 2 great Star Trek films. But as far as Star Trek people, like writers who, maybe they wanted to just be different, but Darren Shankar runs the Expanse, old Star Trek producer. And I believe he also worked on Farscape. I saw his name on the, I think he was a producer of Farscape or something. Mary Scudder says it is confirmed we will have no Christmas special this year. Instead, we will have a New Year's Day special for Doctor Who. And that's it for Christmas specials, by the way. I don't think you'll have one next year either. And I think for precisely the reasons that I saw a video response to maybe what I said. And the response was erroneous, completely erroneous. I will just say that. The guy made a lot of assumptions with my response. Now, I feel that they, and I've said it in my video, that they, as far as Doctor Who is concerned, they do not want to use Christmas as a holiday because it's still a religious holiday, and they decide there's a holiday right next to it that's not religious. That's my belief. I'll stick with it, and we'll see. We'll see if there's any more Christmas specials after that for Doctor Who. Now, of course, they're still going to do Christmas programming and stuff, but they make Doctor Who. I saw Silver Spike there. They make it for an English audience, but they used to only make it for an English audience, and they're not making it for just an English audience now anymore. Silver Spike. It is supposed to be global. It is a global audience they're shooting for. That's where the big bucks are. Doctor Who is huge in Australia and a lot of other countries. I mean, not just the US. And they are making it for an international audience now. I just don't know if it's going to appeal to an international audience. I don't know if I'm into anything that's going to appeal to an international audience and everybody, because they'll have to be so freaking generic. Um, Getting down some of the chat here. Dr. Political, that oh so entertaining once niche sci-fi program, rip. Says Tenno Recluse. Exactly. Oh. Yeah, Jack, yo. Every person who says arachnids in the UK is good is a moron. It's not a good episode of television. It is so poorly written. Doctor Who will be on next year. They will have moved the air date back slightly, but that's it. How far can they move it back? Just saw a DS9 episode where the first changing on what is that? I can't read that. Reached Earth. Maybe that's I just saw a DS9 episode where they're changing the something or other. Reached Earth, and Captain Sisko has to find him in San Francisco. Oh yes. That's the isn't that the one that's written by Mark Zickery? Ghostbusters 2016 Ground Zero for the war on fan bases. Sebastian Simonson, indeed. Watched Revenge of the Cybermen and Destiny of the Daleks yesterday. That was Great Who, indeed, Brent. I watch Great Who every day. Every day. Maybe I should do the commentaries on my since I watch an episode every day, although I'd probably have to do the commentaries from the gym. But those long phases without new shit, it's almost like Berserk. I mean, 3 seasons in 21 years. Is that where Doctor Who wants to go? Good luck with that. Now, Silver Spike, who's in the know, says it's coming out next year. But I've seen multiple Silver Spike. I mean, multiple reports. I mean, it is everywhere that it's going to be delayed. If they're wrong, they're wrong. But I can only go off reports. I have no inside sources on this. Doctor Who is failing. And you know what? Here's the deal. I bet you they're waiting. They're waiting to find out what's going on in case they need to retool something. I'm of the belief that Chibnall's job is absolutely safe. He is going nowhere. They're going to go through with this no matter what. And unless it just absolutely craters, which it's not doing right now. But the signs are there. And if they take a year off between, it will crater. I promise you, it will crater. It did last time. I mean, that Capaldi season 10 was hitting rock bottom. Doctor Who is failing due to being used as a social statement to try to cash in on current trend of PC stupidity. Plenty of sci-fi did that without making a big deal of it, like Expanse and Red Dwarf. There's a million ways to do it without being dumb or simple. We'll say simple. Money means nothing when you are on the right side of the narrative. I guess. Yes, I understand what you're saying. What even the doctor said it in what was it? Oh God. It was it was the episode where the Cybermen and the Daleks are there. I'm brain farting on the episode now. And Torchwood is outside, and Rose is like, "Hey, they got guns. You sure you want to go out there?" He's all, "Yeah." You want to take guns? He's all, "No." I'm paraphrasing here. And she's all, "Well, you're gonna get shot." He's all, "Yes, but I'll have the moral high ground." That is England right there. I'll die, but I'll have the moral high ground. It's about dying with the moral high ground, basically. Marvel don't care that they think they can survive with the movies, but that trend won't be permanent. Yes, the Marvel thinks they can survive, and they can. Right now, the movies are paying for everything, but that time is coming up pretty soon. I'm sorry to say. Sounds like Doctor Who writers have more stories with Americans or set here in the U.S., and they sound like they don't like us. They might not. It's a lot of it's tongue in cheek. I mean, Moffat did a bunch of that stuff, but Yeah, kind of sounds like that. BBC wants to kill Doctor Who just like CBS, the fan of Star Trek. The BBC execs hate Doctor Who. Do you think that's it? Uh, I do. The BBC execs are um, infatuated with their own politics. Uh, I have cable as part of my rent, but mostly only watch YouTube. Unless the show is really good or talked about a lot, I won't spend time to watch it. Well, we could be more discerning now because of YouTube and you can't believe anything from the entertainment sites. That's why people come to YouTube now. They just want to hear regular folks talk about a show and they'll agree or disagree. What's up, JD Brisbos? How's it going? Welcome. Uh, Comrade says we're all flawed biocomputers, but that's why the Borg are such great guys. They can fix that. Oh, sure. Kurtzman's beard looks like crap, but against Gary's glorious Amish beard, is it Amish? It's Amish length now. Nothing looks good. P.S. You once quoted an article that said Star Trek Disco DS9. I almost exploded. Star Trek Disco. Star Trek Disco. They're trying to move that away from the STD thing, so they don't get labeled STD. So do not call them disco. Call them what they are, and lick that like button. Please do. Please do. I've hated Chibnall. I got to be careful not to say Chinball. Chibnall, ever since his appearance on Open Air, I have not says Hyper South. I have not seen that. I've seen a couple of interviews, and I also saw a great video that breaks down like how he writes. Uh, John Barrowman is appearing on I'm a Celebrity. Get me onto TV. I got to see that. Predictions for the next season. Captain Jack will come back. I promise you. Promise you. The one thing is the ratings start slipping. They've always can go to the meta crisis doctor or bring back Captain Jack. That would help. I think it would definitely help. The Torchwood series set in the U.S. was good, but it should have never been called. You should never call a Welshman English. You keep lower teeth or keep pretty face if you don't. Oh, you won't have teeth or face if you don't. Yeah, okay, got it. That's you know what? A lot of us don't know that though. That's something we got to kind of say. Like you got to give people a chance on that one. You know. If you want to get rid of STD, all you have to do is flood it with antibiotics, i.e., cancellation. It says SMU pony. There you go. Or, Fanicillin. If Hollywood insists on remaking old shows, they should remake shows like Tales from the Gold Monkey. Oh my God. Yes. Remake bad ones into good ones. I've always said that. Yes, Captain Jack was a great character, SMU Pity. Yes, he was a brilliant character. Who should come back in his own show. Except, Ghostbusters 3 is in the works. Thought they already killed the franchise. Is it in the works, or are they just talking about it being in the works? When am I going to start selling Death Before Disco shirts? Pretty damn soon, because nobody else is. So maybe in the next 24 to 48 hours. Lamac asks the question of the day. Gary, will there be more Exozone episodes? I believe so. Yes, I can say that. I have not spoken to Doomcock in a couple days. I mean, we chit chat on not much. I mean, we chit chat on Twitter a little bit. But he's busy. I've been busy. I was on a bit of a mission yesterday that I got to talk about later. I drove around the Bay Area like all day. Oh yeah, join our Discord too. Thanks, Kato. Make sensual with the like button. There you go. 6 scale combat. We like that. We like that. I did Philip A. Demick. I like the Gold Monkey as well. I thought it was a cool show. I mean, it's total Indiana Jones ripped off, but it was fun. I was once a diehard Doctor Who fan, but even I wanted it canceled. Let's call it a mercy killing. Says Manueller one. Yes. At this point, yes. But I think they're going to go through. They're going to give us 2 more seasons in the next 3 years. I think there'll be a lot of time between the shows. I think that's a way of fixing the budget. I don't know how they do budgets over there, but I imagine it's like everywhere else. It's yearly, and the Doctor Who budget has gotten too big, so they've kind of fiddled with it and given it long breaks in between. It's hurt the show. It's completely hurt the show. The show has been it's been death by 1,000 paper cuts for a couple 3 years actually, and this just is going to do it in my opinion. And listen, there's people out there listen, I watch a lot of TV. I've watched I watch what goes down in entertainment for a long time. Back when I had skin in the game, when I worked in it and stuff, I've seen things repeat over and over. And this is like what Doctor Who is going through is what no difference what Star Wars is going through is people are pissed off, they're upset, and they're going to dip out. And for a little while, it's going to be successful just because the brand is that strong. But no brand lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever. And when the data starts coming in that there is a decline, there is a decline. It's visible right there. I just showed it to you. In the United States, there's a decline that's going to parallel everywhere else. The UK will be the last holdout for Doctor Who. They're going to have the most fans, the highest ratings, but those have been declining as well. They've been going down. They're still good, but they're going down. What they wanted with this show is for it to stay up. Of course, they're going to spin it positive. Everybody's going to spin it positive, but you opened with 10 million viewers. You don't have that anymore. That's a decline. If you don't want to look at it as a decline, I'm sorry, but it's a decline. And I can hear it all that. That's normal. It was the wow factor. This is why it hasn't worked for Marvel. Like I said, the data on this kind of sex swapping and getting political, the data is in. Just go look at Marvel Comics sales over the last 3 years and compare it to any other thing you've done. Ghostbusters. Was Ghostbusters successful? No. Was Ocean's 8 successful? No. These movies were not successful. These things were not successful. They did okay. But they're spinning okay as successful. If they were hits, people would still be talking about it. We'd be getting a Ghostbusters sequel. They would be breaking records at the box office. If Doctor Who was a hit, it would be maintaining 8 to 10 million viewers, 8 to 7 million viewers, and doing well in the US and in freaking South Korea and Australia. And it's declining. So we'll see if it turns around. Spanking the gold monkey. Yeah, we'll see if it turns around. But I mean, if something's declining, it's declining. And I've observed this with Marvel Comics over 3 years, and the comic industry is in danger of disappearing because of what they've done. And DC, in their wisdom, has decided to try to do the same thing. Not as bad as Marvel, but yeah, I've got a whole podcast ready for that. I've got a whole podcast ready for how DC had a chance to like take the reins and be the number one comic company, and because they keep Dan Didio in charge, they'll never succeed with that guy ever. Yes, more Exozone, says Jim J. Definitely. I've got some woo woo to talk about in a little bit. So we have Wednesday woo woo, which can be like a little tease for the Exozone. But the last I heard is the last time I talked about it was it got mentioned on the High Council, and then Jeff from World Class Bullshitters mentioned an interest on being on the show, which is totally cool. I mean, great, awesome, and we'll see where it goes. But we have we just got to wait till Doomcock has time, and he can take all the time he needs to take. It's cool. When it arrives, it'll be awesome. Trust me, it'll be so much. It's so much fun. Exozone, yes, please, says Brent Newman. When will Doomcock take the Noxie moon base? Who says he hasn't? I'm not saying. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that. Sorry, bud. Yes. Doctor Who, supposed to end officially. It will for now. Mr. Roboto, thank you for the $2 super chat. I just, like with Star Trek, I'm pretending this isn't canon. This is like, la, 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 doesn't exist, whatever. That's how I deal with it. We can get to that later. Let's finish up this chat, and then we'll get to the Wednesday woo-woo. All right, how's that sound? Tales of the Gold Monkey was awesome. It was. It makes me want to watch it now. Is it on Hulu or something like that? The Illuminati is trying to suppress the exozone. That's that might be possible. Philip Ademic. That might be it. But the Illuminati is no match for Nerdrotic and Doomcock. And then if World Class Bullshitter gets in there, I mean, because like we can run faster than the Illuminati. The Illuminati is a bunch of old dudes like on breathers waiting for their clones to finish. So so right now we can outrun them. Yes, STD and Doctor Who need an Enterprise like Mercy killing, says Saquist. I agree. Gary, do you like Mountain? Do I like Mountain View in the Bay Area? I used to live there. I was like, did you mean to write Mountain Dew? Oh, Mountain View. I got you, Dynamo 75. I do like Mountain View. I actually like it a lot. It's a nice town. My wife's extremely stupid rich uncle lives down there and has one of his houses, and we used to go down there for Thanksgiving, and it was awesome. We haven't in the last couple of years. But yeah. Gary, will Exozone address the latest sightings in Ireland? I am going to address that right now, but yes. I will say that we are planning on addressing topics. So it's not just going to be, it's going to be open conversation too, but we are going to be addressing things. I have been doing some research on the side, just in case it fires up. So I am ready to go. I am so ready to go. Cause I mean, I do this, I do this, next, for fun. I do it for fun. I freaking like listen to, oh my God. Richard Dolan does a live stream almost every day now, every other day. I don't miss Mike Barris started live streaming. These guys have finally started figuring it out. It's like, dudes, you don't need to go to these damn conferences all the time. It's great, but if you want to make money, get your YouTube channel going. Just turn it on and start talking. Dolan's live streams are great. He did a great one last night, and he talked about the Irish, the UFOs in Ireland. Yeah, I would say I watch a couple hours a day on the subject, and I've been reading books and listening to stuff for 30 years, so I'm up to speed. I am up to speed. Oh. The Flash. Okay. Yeah, the latest news on the Doctor Who delay is it's still delayed. We'll see. Silver Spike might be cutting some news here, but it's still delayed. I would recommend that the BBC just come out and say it's not. I think that would be a really good move for them because they need some positive news right now. Or maybe they think it's all positive. Thank you, Jess Smulders. Doctor Who ratings in the UK were 5.77 million live. So that's almost 6 viewers for the latest episode. That is live viewers. So that's probably going to consolidate out to 6.57, probably 7.5. So it's still going down, but that's still good. That's still good. In the US, it is down to 700,000. 700,000. Let's get to okay. So we can talk about the Wednesday Woo and the Irish UFOs. Do we want to talk about that right now? We can do that right now. Let me get to my article. Give me just a second. And all right, let's see who's reporting it. Because the interesting thing about this was it has been reported in the mainstream media, which is happening more and more, which I like. What Secure Team 10 pointed out today was there is another UFO sighting that same day in Ireland. Now, that could be just, a fucking coincidence. Right. Okay, here we go. I have to get things set up here. Give me just a sec. Boop, 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 boop. All right. And if you guys don't subscribe to the great Secure Team 10, subscribe to Secure Team 10. It's one of the best channels on YouTube, period. He's not like Third Phase Moon. Okay. He's very picky what UFO footage he puts up. Now, not all of it's real. Of course not. Of course not. But as my argument with everybody, with every skeptic, is if 0.001% is actually an alien, we should address that. And that is the biggest story of our time. Okay. So UFOs have been spotted over the coast of Ireland. This happened a couple days ago. 2 pilots separately spotted bizarre and unexplained flashing lights traveling unnaturally quick near Shannon Airport. They told local air traffic control, but authorities have no explanation for the strange phenomenon, making clear there were no military tests or other unexpected flights that would explain behavior. On one morning of last week, a British Airways pilot spotted bright lights moving past her plane in a few over the West Coast. Now, there is recordings right now of these pilots plural, talking to each other, and multiple pilots witnessed this. 3 to be exact. It was moving so fast, she said, according to the recordings of the conversation, it came up on our left-hand side and then rapidly veered to the north. It was a very bright light that disappeared at a very high speed. Then shortly after, a pilot of a Virgin plane. Oh God, why are you doing that? I don't want to see that. Stop. Then shortly after, a pilot of a Virgin plane flying from US to UK saw something. What's up, Matthew Matson? I saw that real quick out of the corner of my eye. Let's say that. Then shortly after, the pilot of the Virgin plane from US to UK saw something similarly mysterious as it flew over the same area. The pilot described a similar sight, saying that it looked like a meteor, but was made up of multiple flashes and was incredibly bright. The lights were flying at astronomical speeds. So said one of the pilots, who said it appeared to be flying at around twice the speed of sound. So we're looking at Mach 2. The Irish Aviation Authority said it was investigating the strange phenomenon, but it has nothing. But that it was nothing to do confidentially. Following reports from a small number of aircraft on Friday, the 9th of November, unusual air activity, the IAA has filed a report. So I like how they put this, following the reports from a small number of aircraft. So they try to minimize it right there. Right there. And instead of saying multiple witnesses, because what this is, their choice of words was small number of aircraft. A small number of 3 to possibly 4 pilots witnessed something that sped up, changed directions, and it wasn't a meteor. One pilot actually suggests it's a meteor, and then another one says meteors don't do that. And then another pilot says, I'm glad it wasn't just me. So yeah, again, we get this bullshit small number of aircraft. That shit makes me so like, listen, it's way past time to let us know what the fuck's going on. They're not going to. This whole disclosure thing, I've never believed it'll ever happen. I think they're seeping it into the public, they being the powers that be. I sometimes I have trouble. You can't have it both ways. You can't have like this all controlling government and then government stupid and chaotic. I think there is a little bit of both. I think people do absolutely control the media though. And the less corporations we have owning media outlets, I think the more people are starting to believe that too, which is a good thing, which is a very good thing. We need more people like opening their eyes to this stuff a lot. And it's not to make people sound like they're stupid. You're not. You're busy. You're fucking busy. You're out working. You're doing stuff. You don't have time to like sort through like what's bullshit or what's not. You're just like, I need my news for a second. Then I got to go do my thing. So it's never, for me anyway, like you're an idiot. Okay. Because you're not. You're just busy. You're making the world go around, and we appreciate that. Those of us who have time though have time to like sift through some of the bullshit, and hopefully there's more YouTubers who can do this and don't become charlatans or cult leaders, because the UFO right now, the UFO community is filled with them, and we need more Richard Dolans. We need more Richard Dolans out there. Yeah, he sells books, but he's like Michael Tellinger. He's a guy who's out there. Michael Tellinger, man, stay away from that guy. Stay away from anybody who's trying to sell you something. So this Ubuntu thing he's talking about, which is like a cashless society, that sounds like some cult level culty cult stuff. Stay away from it. He's in the UFO community right now. He's in the ancient civilization community. He's a guy I used to like a lot. He seemed really charming. And then he started selling me this Ubuntu stuff or whatever, and like, oh no. And then with Corey Good, we're getting some of that stuff, and these guys ruin it for everybody. Like they're skeptic fodder. Any skeptic can just go look at Corey Good, look at Michael Tellinger, look what they're trying to sell you. Look at these guys. They're charlatans. They're snake oil salesmen. They ruin the movement. They just ruin it when they've got like legit guys like Richard Dolan, who is a historian. He's well spoken, perfectly nice guy, and you got Mike Bear out there. He's a little farther out, but he's still like a real dude. I've talked to him at Contact on the Desert. He's really nice. And yeah, but then there's other people out there. I was at Contact of the Desert, and I heard people where I was even going, that is some woo-woo shit right there. That is like fucking out there. So I want, respectability in this. And that means we have to like police ourselves, and we have to keep the weirdos out. I mean, we're all weirdos. I'm a weirdo. I'm a big time fucking weirdo, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to keep the people who are in there to basically rob people out of it. Sorry, I'm on my soapbox about that. Stephen Greer. I'm back and forth on him, Matt. I'm back and forth on him. I'll be honest. I'm going to say I really liked what he did with the disclosure thing, so I don't want to kill all his message, but what he's done lately, prior to Unacknowledged, I wasn't down with. It seemed like it was getting a little like, like, listen, these guys can make money. You know how you make money? Go do your conferences, do your speech. When you start trying to make your own camp, it starts to look like a cult to me. I'd say steer clear of that. But I will say Stephen Greer's Unacknowledged was a good film. And it needed to be made. So like sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's not. It's tough. It's tough to sift through this bullshit. I was really disappointed with a lot of things I saw at Contact in the Desert, and I started shaking my head going, man, You know, like I've never been self-conscious about being out there about UFOs and stuff. Never, ever. I'm like, I wear it with pride. I don't care what anybody thinks. I walked out of Contact into the desert going, oh, that was a little embarrassing. um, Another one is the Eisenhower girl, the one who's like the niece of Eisenhower and like mentions it all the time. Uh, like she was privy to any White House press conferences, and she looks like she's like my age. So, yeah, like Laura Eisenhower, is that her name? Yeah, that's another one. Um, yeah, but Stephen Greer, I'm hot and cold on. I'll admit to you. I'll admit that. Um, like I'd say the most solid guys out there are, you know, are Richard Dolan. God, I'm blanking on his name. The older guy too. The guy who used to be like a nuclear physicist. What's his name? Help me, people. He doesn't believe in. He believes in everything except for Roswell. Oh, I'll think of it in a second. Bob Lazar is somebody I believe. Oh, Stanton Friedman. Stanton Friedman. Uh, you know, Bob Lazar, Richard Dolan's. I'll admit I like Linda Moulton Howe. She can get out there sometimes. I like Richard C. Hoagland. He can get a little crazy too, but I like him. So if we want to see who Richard Dolan's is, like he's yeah, he to me he's like the number one guy. He's got his own podcast, he's got his own YouTube channel. Go subscribe, check him out. My favorite guy though is for ancient civilizations and stuff right now is Randall Carlson. Randall Carlson. I love that guy. The most woo-woo thing for me is the actual reality. If you look up deep enough into science, how it all fits together and what the laws of physics parameters need to be exactly as they are. And that's cool. There's plenty of stuff in science that that it changes every day. So the reason I like woo-woo is because I'm open to it. I'm not saying it's fact. I don't present anything as fact ever. This is stuff I am open to. I don't believe everything. I don't believe even half of what I hear, but it's entertaining and it's fun to think about. And I've seen enough weird stuff in my life, and I think a lot of you have too, to where I think it's just, yeah, it makes sense. For a small fee of $19.99, I'll show you an alien autopsy. Yes. What? Okay, I watched 3 movies on Amazon recently. One was Above Majestic, Missing 411, and The Hunt for the Skinwalker. The Hunt for the Skinwalker is good. Whether you believe it or not, you could make a story out of that. I know they probably have, but man, that is the weirdest thing I've ever heard, and I dig it. The freakiest, scariest thing is Missing 411. Missing 411 will make you think twice about going on a hike. Believe me. Missing 411, the way it does it is it just presents facts. It really doesn't give you any theories. It leaves you open. It just presents you that there's a bunch of people missing in our national parks, and we have taken out the wild animals, suicides, just the weird missing, like somebody's behind you 1 second and then they're gone. That happens way more than anybody is telling us. And they have proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that the national parks are suppressing this information. And we don't know why. And there's a bunch of commonalities between these businesses. When they do find a body or find a person, they're always like naked or missing their shoes. And like it's in the middle of winter and they walked up, or children who climb 10,000 foot mountains and shit. It's weird. Look into it. There's a bunch of it's Dave Paulides. He used to be a Bigfoot guy, but he kind of fell into this and it's kind of become his thing now. And there's a ton of it for free on YouTube. Just listen to the Coast to Coast interviews. Listen, George Knapp does a couple of great interviews with him. Not a big George Norrie guy. Listen to the George Knapp stuff. I don't like George Norrie. Obviously, there is a lot out there. It's egotistical to think there isn't. But the logistics of space travel would mean that for such a regular contact, there would have to be a base of, and then you say something else. Yeah. The thing is, like, if somebody is able to get here to us, they are so far beyond this. We might not even be able to communicate with them. Like, they might communicate through pheromones. Like, we have no idea. It might be trying to communicate with dolphins. It's like, there's no base. Yeah. There's no base language. There's no base anything. Like, they could be here already and we wouldn't fucking know it. I mean, we have these big oceans that we don't know shit about. The aliens saw Star Trek Discovery, figured only the Irish figured that only the Irish could be so ignorant of Star Trek to make the series, and figure it'd be easy invasion. Oh, I'm Irish, by the way. Greekus Maximus bed. Oh, the poor Irish. Oh, man. I missed the super chat. Sorry about that. I'll get it. I've been all blabbing to myself. I suck. Oh, gotta reload this. That was funny. Geekus. Oh, now I can't get my super chat window up. Oh, for some reason, my super chat window's not up, so I'm going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. Mr. Roboto for $2. Marvel DC will last. Otherwise, we're left with Spawn. Thank you for the $2 super chat, Mr. Roboto. I do apologize. I was on a big, long rant there, and I just missed it. Thank you, Mary Ashby, for pointing out. Mr. Roboto, you're awesome. You get me on the woo-woo, man. I don't dial it back. I'm sorry. I get a little crazy with the woo-woo. Aerial Phenomenon on YouTube, says Lamock. Yes. And hi, Rough Girl. It's good to see you. 6-scale combat. We all just have a few. We are all just a few pubes and stains away from the presidency, bro. I don't know what that is. It's just some protophases away from Blizzard after Diablo Immortal fuck up. Yeah, that was a big fuck up. The aliens. Okay, I saw that one already. Just remember, the government hasn't ever been able to keep a large secret. It's unlikely that there's anything beyond what we currently know as far as encounters of the third kind, says Saquist. I disagree with that. The government compartmentalizes so well with certain things and doesn't on others. But have we ever found out where the missing $3 trillion went? That's a pretty big secret. That's when you figure people die. Free tickets to Area 51. You only pay a shipping fee of $25.99, says Rough Girl. Exactly. And that stuff is out there. I mean, you're joking, but you're not. I love Trek. I admire Star Wars. I was scared to death by Alien. I believe in aliens. But AFOs, how? And if it's real, I would sign up with them. Wouldn't even be able. We couldn't even handle the Empire, says Comrade Burford Axfielder. Well, we're still thinking in our terms. Didn't the Martians have a deal with Eisenhower and the CIA? They traded all the tech for a glass of water, says Ejar. Yes, it's very similar to whiskey for beads. Yes. The only reason there are so many UFO sightings in is because people have starship charts on their walls and like anti-trekkers to identify them. Oh man. A theory needs to be exactly the way it is because that is the way they have constructed. Yes. People are seeing advanced Air Force aircraft. They are not aliens. Aliens did not build the pyramids. They have never been here. No evidence. Jay Wiggs. Um, I don't know that, but there is no evidence. No. Well, I mean, I don't think aliens built the pyramids. No, I am not one of those. I do not think aliens built the pyramids. I think man built the pyramids, but I think the pyramids are a lot fucking older than they say they are. Remember that there are no hieroglyphics inside the pyramids. And the only Khufu was graffiti, and that was reported by an English, I'm forgetting his name. Oh God, it was in the 1800s, and the theory is that he reported on that graffiti of Kofu. I don't know if I'm getting the name exactly right, because he had to justify his trip, which brought up nothing. So it's in Egyptologists go off of what they find in the dirt or what is written on a wall. They have no other evidence than that, and that is guessing. Most archaeology is guessing. Um, they don't mix it in with geology very much, and they really should. Um, so I think that no, I do not think aliens built the pyramids, but I think they're vastly older than they say they are. I say minimum 12,000 years. Fire in the Sky is a great movie. Missing 411 is horrifying. Tons of people are disappearing in the national parks. It is. Yeah, I'm getting the 404 page not found right now too on my super chats. So you guys can still see me, right? I'm going to have to look it up somewhere else. The pyramids are necro tomb worlds. Ooh, that'd be cool. There are pyramids. There's thousands of pyramids in China, and they just let things grow on them, and they don't really go in them. But there's pyramids everywhere. Part of what I'm going to do on the Exozone is I'm just going to briefly show all the similarities with ancient cultures. It's really easy. A lot of people have done it, but you just simply I'll show the shared flood myth, the shared archaeology, or not. I'm sorry, the shared, the pyramids, all the fucking pyramids, all the there's statues that are very similar. How many navel of the worlds are there? There's so many similarities with our ancient culture that they had to, at the very least, have been in contact with each other. That bullshit about them not being in contact with each other is bullshit. There's tons of evidence of that. Tons. Adjust your tin foil, Gary, for your super chats. I can't right now. I can't bring up the window. The window is telling me nothing. It's probably stupid Chrome. Here, I can fix that. It takes a second though. I need to get you know what? It's because I have stupidcomicbook.com up. That's one of those dumb sites that has a million freaking ads and sucks all your bandwidth. There we go. Talk amongst yourselves. All right, Mr. Roboto, if alien visit here for the vacation migration lab, they might just come here for vacation and have a good laugh. I mean, wouldn't you? Or maybe they're just teasers from Hitchhiker. They come down, find some unsuspecting guy, put antennas on their head, and make meek meep noises just for kicks. It's called a teaser in Hitchhiker. All good. We see. Okay. Uh, press 404 for Gary. That's funny. What about the robot probe they send in one of those pyramids? Well, Egypt was a Stone Age empire, and still the Romans were around. Yes, the pharaohs. Yeah, we're talking the stone. Absolutely. How did they chisel out bricks that basically weighed as much as a car with? And some of that stuff was granite, and it could not be cut with bronze tools. It's like chopping down a tree with a plastic butter knife. That's the questions that need to be answered. And there's lots of evidence of weird, like saw marks and stuff. So, as I've said before, I think it was a human advanced civilization, not like advanced with spaceships and shit like that, like just a more advanced culture that possibly got wiped off the planet due to a cataclysm that happened about 11,500 years ago. That the earth has scars from everywhere, showing mass flooding, vitrification on stone, which is melting and burning stone, which is something. I mean, unless every one of those stones got struck by lightning, because that's the only thing that can do it. And it has to be struck multiple times to get to that temperature. Yeah, there's lots of crazy shit. There's just shit we don't know about the past. We know nothing about our past. Zero. How many people knew about the mounds here in America that have been pretty much wiped out by the settlers? They were everywhere, like absolutely fucking everywhere. Those burial mounds. And it's something like they didn't teach me. I heard nothing about a burial mound in school. Now, I went to school like a gazillion years ago. I don't know if they're teaching it now, but that's just proof that there's so much shit we don't know and so much shit they don't tell you. Plus, it's a paradigm. Plus, it's a curriculum, and it's supposed to be it's controlled information. But I won't go down that road too far. Believe me, I have to fight it every day at my kids' junior high school. I like the 10,000-year-old hammer they found in the 9,000-year-old rock in Texas. It was much older than that. It was like a million. But there's other things they found too. I mean, just go. Oh God, I'm blanking on his name now too. Michael Cremo. Michael Cremo. He's the expert on that stuff. There is an interesting video about ancient South American cultures and their walls, cities built for stone, basically saying they should have been. There was no tools available at the time. Yeah, and well, these giant stones, for one, in South America, they were above 13,000 feet, so there's no trees to roll your stones on. They're at 13,000 feet. They don't have tools that can cut andesite and granite. These are questions that are not answered. And you could see the clear difference from Inca work from the previous culture. That's the thing Brian Forster likes to point out all the time is like, oh, it's just different. I can bring up a picture right now for an example. Give me just a second. We'll say Bolivia. We'll just pick a country, Bolivia. Get some images. The polygonal stone. Yeah. So we got to find an Inca construction too, because yeah. So Sacsayhuaman, which sounds like Sacsayhuaman, but that's how you pronounce it. Sacsayhuaman is absolutely insane. And again, they're above a tree line, and all that shit. So that's insane. By the way, that big one here, you can see my mouse, my cursor right there. That is about what, 15 to 18 feet high. That stone right there. These are multiple hundreds of tons. Yeah. And they just decided to put them together like that one day. They were all sitting under a tree. And they're all, let's make the hardest wall we can possibly make with stones we can't move, with tools that can't cut this stone. Sounds awesome, because and then the archaeological theory is because they had nothing to do. Oh god. That's the main theory for Easter Island, is they made those big statues because they were bored. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Now, okay, like this one right here, I can believe this one was made because you're bored. All right. It's funny because this is right behind a church, and they call these like mushrooms. Those aren't mushrooms. Oh man. So okay, here's a good example of this is Inca work right here. That's Inca work. That's pretty impressive. I mean, it's like to find all those little stones and tweak out. They must have been on like some cocoa leaf or some shit like that. But that's impressive. That really is. But when you compare it to that on the left, that's still Inca work too. That's Inca work as well. But you got to get to the polygonal stones, which are bizarre as hell. Like that stuff. Topped by Inca. That's Inca work, and that's previous civilization work right there. It's crazy. It's really weird. Oh, here's a good one. You can, on the top left, you can see all the difference in that work right there. You can see that wall's nice, that wall's not. It's bizarre, and nobody has an answer for it. And I like the mystery part of it too. I think it's one of the biggest mysteries out there, and I love a good mystery, don't you? Don't you guys like mysteries? I do. But no, I don't think it's aliens. I don't. I used to, but then I just started looking at it logically and just thinking, okay, well, I can really buy the fact that there was probably a civilization that got wiped out by a cataclysm. There might have been 3 or 4. We've had plenty of time. The Earth does reset. We've had multiple ice ages. We just got out of one. And if you look at the Younger Dryas, the last ice age, we should still be in it. It ended really quick, restarted again really quick, and then ended again really quick, and they have no explanation. And actually the science on this is all new, because they've gone up and they started digging. They have the technology now to dig 5 miles, like deep for ice cores and stuff, and then they get cores from the bottom of the ocean too. And the science from the stuff and the data is fascinating, which is actual science, which is they're finding nanodiamonds. And nanodiamonds are from it's from a cosmic event or a volcano. There's only 2 things those can come from: a major volcano or a cosmic event, and they're everywhere. The Egyptians did look after kitty cats properly. They did. They were very good with the kitty cats. I'm a dog person myself. I've had cats. I love cats. Both my cats are buried in my backyard. They wanted to charge me $700 to bury my cats. I'll dig the hole. I gave him they got a little headstone. Poor Zorro. Zorro was a good boy. If you're looking for the Missing 411, it's on Amazon.com. It's available for rent for like $3.99, rough girl. Or I can send you a copy. Shh. I'll send you a copy because I own it. So I'll just email it to you. How about the pyramids in South America, let alone the mounds, almost pyramids here in the U.S.? Most ancient cultures have them, says Ijar. Yeah, they all do. They all have. It's yeah. I'm saving that for the exozone, but that is. I will say at the very least, they were in contact with each other. And the flood myth thing is the weirdest. That that is flat out weird and unexplainable because the fact that they all had a flood myth, you're all but within each flood myth, they were warned. They knew it was coming. Not Illuminati. Mr. Roboto, I vow to fight the Illuminati. I am not, yeah. Armie Hammer, elitist, goes out there, bashes people taking pictures with Stanley like me. Yeah, life is weird. It's weird. Oh, there's a lot of weird stuff. That's what I like about it. It's but what Andre was saying too is, science is weird enough, and you can get that. You can get your weird fix just with science, and I mix it up too. But I think as far as not like. Not with there's certain science I don't think is dogmatic that I think is very practical. But as far as like archaeology is concerned, I think that's very dogmatic and very political, very close-minded. I think it's really close-minded, to be honest with you. As far as like astronomy and stuff like that, no, those guys are solid. I love all those guys. So also, hey, I keep forgetting to do this. I have to shout out my friend Feisty Fan, who is a patron and here is a friend that you see here in the chat. Is having a bit of a hard time. She suffers from multiple sclerosis and is having a rough time right now. So if you want to, there's a GoFundMe that was not started by her, it was started by the Nerd Wonder. If you want to go to nerdrotic.com, you go on the top right, you can link if you want to give a couple bucks, help her out. She is anonymous for a reason, so I can vouch for her. I can just say I vouch for her. I'll put the link in the chat real quick. I don't usually ask anybody here for money. That's not something I do. It's not something I'm going to make a habit of, and not something I will probably do again. But for my friend Feisty Fan, I will do it. Yeah, there it is right there. There's the GoFundMe. Kato is there. If you want to check it out, if you want to read what's up with her, again, she's a good friend. I can vouch for her. I know who she is. And yeah. So if you guys could do that, just take a look. I'd appreciate it. I really would. Okay. So when we're at 12 o'clock already, we got a while to go. What's on? So yeah, man, I did like almost an exozone episode. I didn't mean to do that, but I just drank a bunch of coffee and I love that shit. And it's a hobby, folks. So if again, I don't mean to offend anybody who will be under the skeptic label. Completely respect you, and I don't present anything as fact. I'm just I'll say it again, it's just we present it as this could be a possibility. It's a very small possibility, but it could be a possibility. There is a lot of actual science out there that says, as far as alien contact, I keep hearing it's impossible. Well, flight was impossible 100 years ago. I'll just say that bees are not supposed to fly. It's impossible. There's a lot of impossible things that happen. What is in our skies? I think a lot of it is our Air Force. The reason I don't 100% buy that is because that super technology we always see, we never fucking use it. We use the stealth fighters. Yeah, that's old now. I saw a stealth fighter with my own eyes before they announced it. They were flying them over San Diego all the fucking time. So we knew they were there because we saw them with our own. They would fly them in the day. They didn't care. San Diego's like an uber military town. We have Camp Helen in the north. We have one of the largest Marine bases to the north, one of the largest Navy bases to the south, if you're in North County. So there's freaking shit flying over you like all day long. As a matter of fact, that was one of the weirdest things moving to San Francisco is like they don't fly helicopters here for some reason. I don't know why, but I'm used to like helicopters and planes going over like every second in San Diego, a jet, a Huey, something, so it's weird. Yeah, San Diego would be the last place anybody would want to invade. Trust me. I mean, just the amount of rednecks that live there. Yes, rednecks in San Diego. There's plenty of them. You go east to I-5, it's like Kentucky. Have I caught the new Mars episodes? I have not, JD Brisbois. I plan to, though. The aforementioned hammer is supposedly 100 million years old. Holy shit. You know what that means? Thor isn't a comic book character. He never was, but beyond that's beyond freaky. Yes. I'll bring some of that stuff up on Exozone, some of the out of place artifacts. There's some bizarre ones. There are some hoaxes, folks. There are some hoaxes, but there are some legit ones too that are really, really weird. Mage Grey Wolf says, I enjoy this as a skeptic. Yeah, I mean, it's some of it's like really fun. Tangents are good for creativity. They are. They absolutely are. While shows like Ancient Aliens is fun, I think they're doing a disservice to real science, tempering the public's interest in finding out real history behind them, says Kato Roan. I don't know if I totally agree with that. I think with certain folks, yeah. Okay. I won't classify them. I'll just say with there's some people out there who just buy all of that stuff hook, line, and sinker. There's a part of the audience that just is entertained by it. And then there's, I think, the camp I'm in, which is I believe stuff is going on, not as much as you say, but there's something going on. I think there's something going on. What? I don't know yet. Or I'll save my theories for the Exozone. They said Cheese Whiz was impossible 100 years ago. You're damn right. And you know what? We have Cheese Whiz. Got my Cheese Whiz, boy. Alien contact isn't impossible. It's just highly unlikely. We are so ridiculously difficult to find. A speck in a field of sand. Yeah, that's the argument. It's space is big, really, really big. You think it's a long way to the chemists. I'm offended by Gary. Is it a handlebar mustache now? Has it gotten like that? Yeah. I'm a little offended by it myself. Mr. Roboto, $2 super chat. Gary, you find a meteor. Do you sleep? Gary, you find a meteor. Do you sleep next to it? Yes. No, I sell it. I sell it. And I start Nerdrotic Studios. Oh, Gary, what is your opinion on Atlantis found in the Eye of Sahara? Fascinating. I am fascinated by it. There's still one major problem with it is it's too high. But either Plato has seen it. There's a lot behind it. You got to watch Bright Insights 3 videos on it. He lays out some facts. The weirdest one is the measurements line up. I mean, the measurements line up. It's fucking weird. I don't know. I will say it's still a little too high, but man. And also the Sahara Desert. The Sahara Desert is, and this is science saying this, is 7,000 years old. It's not that old. 7,000, 8,000 years ago, the Sahara Desert used to be lush and green. What happened? Deserts aren't made in 7,000 years. So my answer to that is what I think happened is tsunami. What is sand? Well, a lot of sand can be ocean bottom. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know for sure. But the Sahara Desert is quite young. So, I mean, it could have been the sun. I don't know. I don't know. Again, not a scientist. I'm just a fucking idiot on YouTube. Um, Being a skeptic doesn't mean to be blind or deaf, but I only believe in alien flying object when I fly that thing with my thoughts, damned. With my, I want that to happen. Dinosaur riders built the pyramids for Mr. Slate. See, you got him. There we go. Spoilers, Brad Noble. Spoilers. Fuck. Uh, we get a space station overhead every couple months. So weird to see a fast moving dot of light in the sky. Love it, Slurmy Scott. Yep. One thing about San Francisco is I miss seeing those dots in the sky. I truly miss seeing them because I don't. And lately it's been fucking smoky as hell and I can't see shit because California's on fire. Well, the fucking town of we were talking about Stanley. There's a town called Paradise. A friend of mine lived there. It's gone. It's gone. 1 acre a second burned. There was a fire NATO up there. My friend Tanya and her husband got their horse out, got their dogs out. House is completely wiped off the map. Everything's gone. If you're into the woo, LA Marzulli lost his house in the giant elongated skull guy lost his house. Neil Young lost his house down in Southern California. Imagine what got lost down there. Oh, Nerdrotic Studios. I'm down with that, says JD Brisbois. That'd be awesome. Oh, yeah. If I win the lottery, Nerdrotic Studios. Well, the Twilight Zone movie with Stephen King episode taught us meteors are bad. Yes, they are. Bill Wandius. You mean, yes, meteors are bad. And so are hitchhikers. Hey, lady, thanks for the ride. Oh, that's Creep Show. Creep Show 2. Love that movie. It will be covered in Aquaman, says Aki Rose. Yes, Aquaman. Aquaman. What are you guys thinking of Aquaman? I don't know. I bet you it's going to be better than the Crimes of Grindelwald. Gundam will be the future of humanity. We will become a machine culture then. I'm not a scientist. Exactly what the secret scientist would say, says Philip A. Demick. Maybe. Fire NATO. Yes, Maverick, a fire NATO. Now, fire NATOs, as somebody who used to fight fires, are something I have never heard of. This is relatively new for me, maybe because we've just started seeing them. Maybe it was mentioned and I just don't remember hearing it from my past. Fire NATO is something I heard of maybe 10 years ago. Before that, it wasn't even in my brain. And again, I have fought fires before. I've actually fought fire. I've fought 7 fires in my life as a firefighter when I was much younger for the CDF, California Department of Forestry. And yeah, there was a fire NATO, which is a tornado of fire in Paradise. And I will bring up the video. Hang on. Give me just a second. There it is right there. Give me just a second. I'm sure you guys have all seen it, but what the hell? It's just a picture. We're just going to do a picture because I can't do video. I don't want to get a copyright strike. Oh, it's a video. Fuck it. I'll do the video. Hang on. Oh, we got to go through an ad. So I'll bring it up when the ad's gone. All right, here we go. Here we go. No, 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 no. Whoa, that is trippy, man. What the hell was that? Sorry about that. I hit the wrong one. There we go. Fire NATO. Look at the color on that too. That is insane. That is fucking insane. Apparently, I don't know if it was this one, but one killed one of the firefighters. Like he couldn't get away fast enough, and that was it for him. So, fire NATO, fucking A. All right, back to the chat here. The captain is back. He's just finding a parking spot. Stephanie Littlepage, that's always fun here in San Francisco. Believe me. If Aquaman is on Wonder Woman's level, I'll eat my hat, says Comrade Burnfriend Axfielder. Do you have a mushroom hat like Paul Stamets? Bruce Boxleitner from Babylon 5 is one of those who had to evacuate his family. Oh, really? Well, Malibu is where pretty much all the stars live. I'm an Aqua fan. What's an Aquaman? Asked Brad Noble. He talks to fishes. No hopes for Aquaman. Climate change turned to the Sahara Desert region into a wasteland. The glaciers melted and the regions became scorched hot with the Middle East and lesser scale. There was no glaciers there. Are you saying the flooding from the glaciers or the oceans rising from the flooded glaciers? Yeah. I will look that up more and I will talk about it on the Exozone. Wonder if Oumuamua, a true extrasolar object, shot some mini life pods as it passed. Look for the pod. People, blobs, worldwide virus outbreak. I did see a video yesterday, Slurmy Scott, of UFO sightings have risen since Oumuamua's passing through our solar system. I was waiting for that one to come. That's our big subject for Exozone, so I can't talk about that. Hey guys, how did conversations drift towards fire NATOs? Cordell Fenival, that just happens with me. It's basically a gift that I have basically the Nerdrotic channel. It might be classified as a Coke conversation without the Coke. Maybe, I don't know. It needs more sharks, says Brad Noble. Salute to you, 6 scale combat. Just made a time portal, bring it back and send yourself a message to 2 days ago. Well, it's that easy, really. Terrible way to go. Yeah, it is. Better than Sharknadoes, says Love Pun. Sharks with lasers, ill-tempered bass. Ill-tempered bass with laser beams. Oh, what do I think of what? Raptor 1. Damn it, sec. It's okay. It's all right. It's very unforgiving, the typing for this stuff. So yeah. Laser beams. Milwonius Cyrano off rem from York. I wonder how there can be so many bad science fiction movies when the people here in the chat have so many great ideas. I know. That's the thing. It pisses me off. It's like I get better sci-fi in my fucking chat every day than from an actual book or from any of these shows. Laser beams. That's right. Truth Apocalypse. It's so fucking true. Recovering Addicts channel, Cordell Fenival. Yeah, I just lots of drugs have damage my brain, and I can go from. I'm like our conversations are like a pinball machine, basically. Speaking of which, I think I might have found a way to bring my pinball machine up to my office, because I really, what's the use of having a pinball machine if I can't play it or have it in the background on my YouTube channel? It's very difficult to get things upstairs in our house because I'm on a second floor, and our garage is the ground floor. And right now I have an awesome vintage Spider-Man pinball machine sitting down there doing nothing but collecting dust. So Captain's on the bridge. Pinball is God. I fucking love pinball. I suck at video games. I'm good at pinball. Wouldn't that be called Torchnado? Maybe. What do you think of the possibility that the Mediterranean Sea was waterless back during the time of the Sahara was green? Might be off in my timelines. I'm going to look into that. I actually went in and looked. I'm like, what made the Sahara Desert? And it's like the moon. There's a million theories. Some of them sound totally legit, and some of them sound crazy. But I tried to go like see what actual science says about it, and there's not one that people have settled on. It's a holdover from the store, the pinball machine. I was not going to sell it with my shop. Hell no. That was not part of the deal. I also have the Sega Spider-Man game. Which is I think it's a lot like Capcom. It's fun. It's pretty fun. I like it a lot. But we were talking about the moon is an old base. Well, everybody knows that. There was a land bridge connecting Asia to America that vanished due to the rising sea levels that was never explained, that caused the rise. The Younger Dryas caused it. The polar ice caps of North America were 2 miles high. 2 miles, folks. So if those things didn't melt fast, that would send a wave of water 1,000 feet high over pretty much all of America. That could have wiped out a civilization. Just saying. So what hit the polar ice caps? The theory right now is either some kind of plasma ejection from the sun. That's from Robert Schoch. Randall Carlson thinks it might have been pieces of a comet. That's why there's no crater. Plus, it hit 2 miles thick ice, and it just instantly melted it and wiped out the Western United States. And if you look at the Western United States, it looks like somebody melted it. Oh my God, that coffee is good. Even an hour later, it's good. Man, that stuff is like, it's like somebody kicks you in the ass, but you like it, Like, goddamn. Moon is a base for everything. Polar shift, says Brad Noble. Yeah, and that's the other theory. That's a very good one, actually. Excuse me. That one is the one I generally believe. But the reason I'm starting to kind of shift over to the comet thing is the mass ejecta from the comet hitting the ice cap would explain the mass flooding for days. The moon is made of cheese. Come on, guys, mooners. Remember the Moonies, Matt Guy? Does anybody remember the Moonies? Is that too old? That was a cult, right? The Moonies. I remember I was a real little kid. Hang on. I'm going to look it up. The Mooney cult. Yeah, they were called Moonies. Unification Church of the United States, nickname the Moonies. Mooney is a pejorative term, sometimes used to refer to the members of the Unification Church. It is derived from the name of the church's founder, Sun Myung Moon, who was was first used in 1974 in the American media. It wasn't God. It wasn't nature. It was Godzilla. Says Comrade Bernfred Putin's Axfelder. All kidding aside, polar shift. Well done, guys. Polar shift would not be fun. The Moonies. Mooning is showing your butt. Thank you, Brett Newman. Yes, mooning is showing your butt. Meteor or asteroid hit the ice caps at speed, that kind of speed that cannot come naturally. So I'd say a mass driver of some sort of orbital bombardment. They say pieces of a comet, a fragmented comet, which is, possible. It's possible. Yeah, the Unification Church. I remember my dad used to talk about the Moonies. There's a cult like place in Encinitas where I grew up. It was called the Self Realization Fellowship. Yeah. I think it was the Hare Krishna stuff going on there. But we used to I used to live on the street, so you used to go there on Sunday. You used to get your free lunch and stuff. So that's where I go to eat, and I'd have to listen to a spiel and whatever. Yep. I'll have to agree. Godzilla did many things to the Earth. Maybe Dad Godzilla and Mom Godzilla had a nuke blast fight and made Sahara. Maybe they did. They had a little row, a little bit of a it was probably over little baby Godzilla. Because that's what parents always do. They always go to the kid and go, it was your fault. Yeah, well, speaking of polar shift, the magnetic fields of Earth are already starting to change up. It's a mess up there. It could kill the modern day life for decades. It could. That's a real thing. There's lots of weirdness going on with those things. Also, Velikovsky gets a lot of shit. That's a guy I'm getting into right now. And he used to be buds with Einstein. And he has a lot of whacked out theories, but he's also right about a lot of shit. He was right about the planet sharing magnetic fields, or the magnetic fields of planets interact. They didn't believe that happened. He also, predicted that Venus was hot before people thought it was hot. The Spaghetti Church, that's kind of the one. The Spaghetti Monster Church. I am a believer in the Spaghetti Monsters. It was Thor fighting Midgard, a serpent. He struck the snake. It might blow with lightning and cause the Sahara. Well, man, we should bring that up in the exozone, because that would explain all the the comet, the star worship, and all the spirals that we always see. The moon is moving away from Earth inches at a time, but yes, it is moving away from Earth. Do I believe in giants? That they're alive now? No. That some very big race of people lived a long time ago? Yes, I do. But again, that's believe. I don't know for a fact. Big difference there. If Nikola Tesla were alive, we could ask him the theory of everything, and we would get better than 42. Well, he'd figure out the question. The moon is the Death Star. The fifth one made. Yeah, it's by Kylo Ren's grandson, because the fifth one will work. I trust you. Trust me on that one. Chuck Norris farted. That's what made the Sahara. It seems that Hollywood doesn't know how to innovate or even give franchises the right sequels. Since the 2000s, most of the great comic/movie stuff came mostly from Europe and Asia. Cordell Fenneville. Yeah, actually, I was going to kind of name this podcast Everything English I Like is Sucking right now. But then I remember I was joking about that to my wife. She's all, well, then just go to France. I'm all, yeah, I'll just start reading my French comics again and I'll be happy, because French comics have never fucking let me down because they're great. But not everything English is sucking. Just two of the English things I like are sucking. J.K. Rowling keeps this up. I'm going to question if she ever wrote Harry Potter. I'll just say that. No, I think she's just a different person now and like uber mega rich. And yeah. My Hero Academia is awesome, Sebastian. Believe me, I'm down with that. I remember something about there also being an impact in the southern Indian Ocean during the Younger Dryas. The comet fragment theory seems to work out. We got shotgunned by the comet and lived. Raptor 1, you are correct. They just found a huge crater at the bottom of the Indian Ocean, massively huge. And there is signs of a massive tsunami hitting the coasts of Western Australia, Madagascar, India, Tunisia, or not Tunisia, but somewhere in the north of Africa. And I've actually shown those. I showed those on our last Exozone. You can go look. I found they're called chevrons. That's what Randall Carlson calls them. And it's just, you see like a little U, and it's all the sediment that the water brought up. And it just looks like nothing. But then when you go to ground level, you see these things are like 100 feet high and, like a mile wide. I guess suppose you want me to do my Google Earth thing before we go? I can find it pretty quick. What I was studying last night was the East Bay Walls. I don't know if anybody in the Bay Area has heard of the East Bay Walls. There's a giant, like, megalithic stone wall that goes up pretty much the length of San Jose. That's in the East Bay here. Nobody knows where it's from. They thought it was for a while. They thought it was maybe the Chinese that built it during the gold rush, but it's older than that. They're finding out it's always been here. The thing is massive. It cuts through farms, and they destroyed half of it to make one of the East Bay towns out there. And I was following. You can find it on Google Maps, pretty easy. Thing goes forever, man. And yeah, I'm going to bring that up on the Exozone as well. But here, I'm going to go find you guys some of these chevrons I was talking about. Talk amongst yourselves. We got to find the island of Madagascar. And yes, I spend a lot of time on Google Earth. So what? Yeah. Oh God, where's Madagascar again? There it is. No, that's Sri Lanka. Where the hell am I going? Here. I'm pretty sure I can find it. Okay, yeah. So we're going to Western Australia. Everybody, Western Australia. It's a great country, I hear. Can't wait to go there someday. We have a Tarka Jedi. Is anybody in here from Australia? Fucking love you guys, man. So we're going to go down. Here we go. That was easy. Look. All right, so we're going to back up a little bit. Western Australia. All right, so the impact was supposed to happen. Oh, there's Madagascar. Somewhere around here, I'm not sure. And a massive tsunami just went everywhere. Okay, so we'll start at Western Australia. We'll go to where I was at Western Australia. And those are the chevrons I'm talking about. This is, you clearly see water came in. Water came in. These things are huge. We go all the way down. They're fucking huge. They're big mountains. Look at that. That's a close-up of one. That is crap from the ocean that got washed in. And if you look back, there's tons of them. That is all from a tsunami, a massive tsunami that ran over this thing, man. If you go back a little bit, and thanks to Google Earth, we can see all this shit now. And thanks to Randall Carlson for pointing all this out. And you know what? Geologists have been looking at this stuff for years, the ones who are taught in schools. And it took an obsessed guy who has not written a paper. And he is starting to be considered now as probably the best geologist on the planet, because he's an obsessed stoner. And I got to give props. Some people do well on pot, and he is one of them. And look at that. Look at that. That is all sand from the ocean. All right, so we're going to go to Madagascar now, and we're going to see the same thing. If I can remember where he pointed it out. Yeah, that's right. There. That, yeah. There. Same thing. See, right here. These are everywhere on every coast. There's big, and this is like a ginormous tsunami that causes this. But there are the chevrons right there. This is the ones this is the one he pointed out on the Joe Rogan podcast, by the way. And I think if you go down, you see more of them right here. There we go. There's more of them right there. And please check out his Joe Rogan podcast, because he's got pictures of, you could see that one. That's a great example of one just like it washed all the way up right there and ended. Crazy shit, right? I think it's just fascinating. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Yeah, sleep tight, everybody. Big old tsunami could come take you away. Yeah. Yeah, you know, I like, look at all, like, even the crazy woo-woo shit we've been talking about. You can all make a story out of that. That's a science fiction story that you can make. And I'm a firm believer that if you have like, if you're a science fiction writer, you have writer's block. Listen to old Coast to Coast. Go and find some old Art Bell. Listen to about 3 or 4 hours of that. You will get 20 stories. You'll hear some crazy shit, but it would make a good story. Man, this is all your fault. You got me going on that again, Raptor One. That's all your fault. I got to see if I can open up my super chat window again. That's kind of a bummer, but I can't do that. Oh, that's why. Hang on. Talk amongst yourselves. Why was I signed out? That's weird. Well, that's good. We got a few new subs. So again, welcome to all our new subscribers. We got like 200 subscribers in one day. That video did really well. It's at 19,000 views. It got most of those within an hour. Most of those were in an hour. So that was nuts. Wish it was under better circumstances, though, to be honest with you. I'd give that video up in a second to have them around for a couple of more hours. But Jim Steranko said it best that Stan probably died when Joan died, which is sad, but at least they're together now. All right. I'm just trying to kill time till I can get to that damn window. All right. Is this going to work now? It works. Oh, it's different looking now. That's bizarre. Oh, the YouTube is changing shit. I heard they were going to be doing that. They're going to be going to this YouTube Studio beta or some crap like that. So, yeah. And just Mr. Roboto, you gave us a lot. Get 4 super chats from Mr. Roboto, and we got one from Nicholas Glenn, and we got one from Steele Johnson. So thanks, guys. Thank you so much. We've had over 100 viewers most of the day today. That's fucking awesome. Yeah, I like that. Drummer could be called SJW, but I call her amazing. Her speech to the Belt Aloud as an Expanse was the high point of series. As a SJW character, nah. I maybe close to. She's not a Mary Sue though, especially where her character goes. You got to see where her character goes. Well, it depends if they keep it within the books or not. If you got writer's block, look at the pulp mags of the 1900s and 1930s. Ijar, that's a good one. I like that. Viking bitch is driving and listening. Hello, Viking bitch. Gary is the new George. I am the new George Tsoukalos. I'm not saying it's aliens, but I have to start saying technology, like technology. I know George. I do. Well, the great flood myth from Gilgamesh epos did possibly happen in the Mediterranean. The Atlantic was a lot more shallow once the Black Sea didn't even exist back then, says Comrade Birdfed Axfielder. Have you ever read some of the old school sci-fi from the 20s? And the stuff blows my mind. I have. I'd give you a super chat, but I just had to ask Bob to bail me out because I screwed up on my PayPal. Oh, that's cool, Stephanie. It's all good. I have added the PayPal tip jar to our website and to our. Well, I didn't do it on this video, but on future, we're WBVB, says Cato Roan. There we go. Damn, we've been going a long time, folks. So I think it's time to wrap it up. I'm going to play the Patreon video and read some more of your chats. You got me going on the woo, man. That was a good second half of our show. Jesus. I hope I didn't. No, well, believe me, I have plenty more for Exozone. I'm all good on that. We're getting our self-produced show here, so please forgive. And here we go with the Patreon video. I could take this point to take a sip of coffee. What's the website address? Is nerdrotic.com. Oh, I put a comma in there. I didn't mean to do that. It's www.nerdrotic.com, or just go to nerdrotic.com, or if you just type in Nerdrotic to Google, you'll see the YouTube channel, and then you'll see our website. I'm curious as to why the chevrons are on the southeast side of Madagascar. Shouldn't they be on the northeast side? Richard, they should. There's been multiple major tsunamis. So what Randall Carlson pointed out is one of the tsunamis was possibly from a shard from the camp. So there was one tsunami from the impact event that happened during the Younger Dryas. And he also said that there was one that happened about 6,000 years ago that may have ended the Bronze Age, that might have led to the end of the Bronze Age. So check out his videos. There's 3 videos that Randall Carlson did with Joe Rogan. I highly recommend everybody watch all 3 of them with Randall Carlson. He does one with Randall Carlson by himself, and then 2 with Graham Hancock and Randall Carlson. Those are great podcasts. It's, Joe's really on. He asks the right questions. Right here, you see the comics you get from our $5 level from Patreon, by the way. And then here's a representation of the What's in the Box you get on our $15 level of Patreon. Check out patreon.com/nerdrotic, where we give you stuff and exclusive content. Okay. Got that in. You Luke Sabered your road book, dude. Woohoo. So trippy, and Doomcock isn't here. I know, but Doomcock's always welcome, but he's busy. I told him he's got keys to Nerdrotic. He can come here whenever he wants. Yeah. So there you saw our Patreon video. I'd like to thank our super chatters again, who are, and I'll show it. Screw it. Let's just show it. Which Mr. Roboto for a lot. We love Mr. Roboto here. We have Mr. Roboto for $2, $2, and $2. We have Nicholas Glenn for $4.99. And again, thank you, Nicholas Glenn, for getting a shout out on the High Council. I will be eternally grateful for you for that. I really appreciate that. And Steele Johnson for $2. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. I missed a Y on the hunky. I did, didn't I? I'll fix it. I'll fix that, hunky chunky funky monkey. I'll fix it today. Cordova. And goodbye to everybody. Thank you, Mary Ashmead, for the wonderful wrench. And the world we live in is very curious. The solar system more so. The galaxy, well, Lee Crystal 1, thank you very much for the thumbs up. I would like to thank everybody, of course, Mary and her wrench again, and Kato Roan and his wrench, Truth Apocalypse, Slurmy Scott, JD Brisbois, Richard Busati. Did I say that right? Busudi? Buziddle. Buziddle? I'm sorry. Hey, try to say my last name. Raptor 1, Sebastian Simonson, E. Jar. What is that? SICSICSIX. The Princess of Mars was trippy for a time. Yes, it was. Love that shit. Philip A. Demick, Nathan Norman, Matt Guy, Brad Noble, Mage Grey Wolf, Neff, JD Brisbois, Jay Wiggs, Nathan Norman, Maverick, SMU Pony. Trying to find some more names up here before I run out of room. Malwinius, Cyrano, Alfram from York. The DJD Show. Thanks, man. Captain Robert April, Stephanie Littlepage, Destiny Captain. And that's as far up as I can go. If I missed anybody, I am truly sorry. Aki Rose. That's one I can remember. And Sculpted Leather Art by Viking Bitch. Everybody, have a great day. Our next show will be tonight. We're going to be recapping Origin, which is a YouTube original, so it's free. It's free tonight. So if you're on YouTube, it's got Draco Malfoy in it. Guy plays Draco Malfoy, and it's about a ship, and some shit goes down in a ship in space. That's all I know. But it's sci-fi, so we're going to cover it. So check us out tonight. I forgot what time I put it up, but like 6:30 or 7. I can find out for sure. Let me go to my website, and it says, I put time to be announced. So I'm going to say, we'll say 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. That's when it will be. So check us out tonight. And then after that, of course, is Titans on Friday, and then Friday Night Tights with Susan and Dennis. You are all wonderful. Have a wonderful day. Be nice to each other, and may the small folks sing songs of your greatness. Cheers.